fit myself in the center of the screen.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Jana's fidgeting.
I'm fidgeting. Ignore me.
What episode is this, Jana? I can't count anymore.
Episode 47.
We're here. Ish.
Just got back from dropping my kids off at school.
Oh my God. Can I tell you something? Before this fucking shit show even incepted, we already messed up because today Alex is off school today and Chris had a sim, so he's home too. So there's gonna be banging, dinosaurs, screaming kids. He's already tapped on the door like 3 times. Mommy, I want a cookie. He asked for cookies. I expect 10 interruptions at least. How many interruptions do you expect?
I have one child homesick. We'll see. So we planned this at such a ridiculous hour because we thought we would be kid-free, but the joke's on us.
Stupid women. Gotta go back to the kitchen. And this is at a ridiculous hour also because I don't know what night. Yeah, that too, but I don't know what night to pick. So if people want to recommend, there is a Reptile live podcast
every night of the week.
Every night. So write in wherever or comment on this live, because you can comment on YouTube. What if it was going to be at night, like twice a month or something? What would be the preferred night that doesn't compete with all of the other ones? That's why I was like, oh my God, let's just like target the stay-at-home mom
bigger
audience.
Podcasts.
The real podcast, Jana. I don't know how to like not compete with them, but like, and also we have time zone problems now that are new and exciting to deal with.
Very new and exciting. Because I'm coming to you from 9 a.m. and Jessica's coming to you from, what is it over there?
It's 11:30 something. So I'm central.
You're breakfast. I'm breakfast, your lunch. It's cool.
And then when I made the post on Instagram, because I'm AM and you're AM, I was like, everyone will understand that 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is AM, like the other times in the time zone. No,
right.
No, it was not clear. It was not clear.
I was confused.
I failed immediately on explaining that. So here's what I think the show could be: is like you're on your lunch break or you're taking a shit on company dime, right? You know, a really long one.
Yeah.
Just tune in. It's the same. Shit on here, shit out your butt. It's basically the same thing, and then you can come back and watch the replay later. Like our sponsor, Shane Kelley, he's like, I'm sleeping then. Y'all are dumb. And I'm like, I
know. Well, Bree, thank you for joining us on your lunch.
Bree, yeah, she's shitting right now, live. We just can't see it. We're just imagining it in our hearts. So let's talk about Shane Kelley. So I just wanted to talk about the Calico because I think it's an interesting. Oh dang it, Bree's not pooping. It's an interesting thing that happened, mostly because it was hidden in the father. Do you think that's interesting, Jana? I want to show a picture of the dad from Shane's video. Do you see a Calico-like effect here? No. Jana says no.
No, I do not.
And he's been very honest. Like, he doesn't know if it's Calico. He guesses that it's Calico. It could be. It might not be. He doesn't know. But what's the most interesting to me is this father doesn't look like anything but Blade Clown.
I would agree with that. Assessment. So because my Calico has like oranges along the belly and it has like stretched together pattern and a lot more pattern than that one.
Mm-hmm.
But so Calico is a very it varies. It can come across as like a low expression or it can come across as high. So I'm not
right outside of clown. You could just have like a couple dots.
Correct. So I'm not like the end all be all of clown Calico identification. That's all I'm saying. Just a little disclaimer there.
And what else is interesting? It was MJ Snake first. You all should watch this video because that sort of explains the history of this. And he bred it and had no calico or calico like things produced from it the first time. So just like whiffed.
Huh.
I know. But he's reproduced that gene out of this animal multiple times. So it's obviously not a one-time. I hear kids screaming. Do you?
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Alex. Oh, brother. So it's not a one-time deal. He had the gene all along. They just magically whiffed on the first one. MJ didn't notice anything interesting. Pass it on, as you're wont to do with males that you don't need anymore, that are still good for somebody else. And it was Calico or Calico or something like that all along. It just proves, I don't know what it proves. Hold back everything and never sell anything.
Jessica, the snake hoarder.
Hey, Will's Hella Heat's here.
Hello.
Thank you for showing up. I
honestly thought we'd be alone. Can you see how many people are here? Because I cannot see how many people are here.
You can't 6.
I can see the comments. I just can't see
was targeting 1 to 5, and since we've achieved 6, we've exceeded expectations.
Wow, we have arrived, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Bree asked if Will is pooping.
Will, are you probably
pooping? No, it's permanent. It's not just me making it up.
Now it's gone down in history. You're welcome, Bree. Yeah, so is that why he calls it Calico? Because he wasn't sure if it was Calico? Or
yes, and I think that's fair to be like, I'm not sure. Could be anything.
Hello, Beast Morphs
is here. It's just, I obviously like Calico. You like Calico.
A lot, yes.
We're in the project or whatever. They make great everything combos. It's just interesting that it was Calico, so hidden.
Everything, yes.
Right. So then when you had your pastel banana post calico clown, I was like, sure, it could be.
Belly. Yeah, it totally could be there. I didn't hit any this last clutch, but I have 2 more clutches from him coming, and we'll see. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't. And I didn't pay for calico in him. He would have been double the price if he had calico. So
either. Yeah, I just was like, when you showed me that, I'm like, yeah, fuck, who knows? Could be.
Could be rat.
All right, Jana's turning into a robot a little bit. Poop on poop.
Yep. If I fade out, guys,
I'll just keep talking about poop.
Have to be patient and okay, poop. Cool. Beast Morph is cleaning poop, not pooping.
Oh, excellent. That's what I do a lot. All right, Jana. You had a nerd event this week. Can you explain what it was? I had a nerd
event this week, a nerdgasm that I have been saving to share with Jessica all week. So most people do not know this about me, but I am actually a nerd, and I was a band nerd. And what?
I don't know. I was going to say something about away trips and weird activities on the bus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll save that for another time.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway, band nerd, married band nerd. So I have 3 children, and she's in 5th grade, my oldest, and she came home this week and was like, I'm going to join band. And I died a little inside of happiness. It was like, I hadn't talked to her about joining band. It's not something we've overly you have to be a band nerd, continue the legacy. It was just completely her own idea, and it starts next week, and I literally died of happiness. I was so excited for her. A band camp girl, exactly. And so I played trumpet. My ex-husband plays clarinet, and we let her play with those instruments, and then they had a big open house where she could try other stuff, and she is going to play the clarinet, which makes me very happy. I should have played the clarinet, but I was scared of all the buttons because
you're woodwind envy. Is that what that is?
It was woodwind envy. I always wanted to play the clarinet or the saxophone, but all those buttons, I was like, man, I don't have time for that. Little ADD over here. I'm like, 3 buttons, I can handle that. Cool. So she is going to play the clarinet, and we're really excited to have our ears bleeding.
Congratulations. That's funny you wanted to play the clarinet. I feel like the woodwinds were not the cool ones in the band while I was in band. It was brass and percussion. They're like the edgy ones.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, like our band teacher played the trumpet,
Look, Alex
so
is
everybody
here.
was envious. Alex, hi, I love you, Alex. Our band
not
teacher
that
played
Alex.
the trumpet. Oh, sorry. I
She
don't
still
love
loves
you.
you, though. She still loves you.
I'm just kidding. I was talking to her son. He tells me he loves me every time he sees me. So yeah, the trumpets were big, and I was in the right section, but I always had a little bit of envy that I hadn't just like dug deep and tried to do something hard. But I
Jana
played
loves
trumpet.
doing hard stuff, everybody.
Hard stuff, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I played trumpet, and I also played the valve trombone. So marching band is in our future, and I couldn't be happier with my little nerd family, nerdgasm. So now you know the truth, everyone.
I just remember like the brass section just being like, I'm gonna fucking blast and like overpower the woodwinds on purpose because they're like 12-year-old boys. And they could, so it ends up being just a bunch of like a drum line and brass screaming as loud as possible. Not even the right notes, just screaming.
Yeah, our
That's
woodwind
middle
section
school band.
was huge. It was like half the band was flutes and clarinets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I left band promptly and never regretted it.
Oh, you're not a band nerd? That really actually shocks me.
No, I don't know. I really enjoyed percussion. I was in percussion. I like drums. I still like drum lines. I think nothing makes human monkeys more happy and excited than like a percussion that they like. Humans, I'm being honest. Like if you like start tapping on a drum or like a bucket, you're just like, yeah, this is nice. Let's have a party. Oh, okay. Have you ever had a parrot?
Like owned a parrot?
Mm-hmm. They're also interested in percussion. Like the bigger ones. They're very like rhythm oriented, so they'll dance to music, but they're usually dancing to like the percussive quality of it. Yeah. That's how I feel about all percussion. Is it's good and everyone likes it. Brass though, take it or leave it.
I cannot play the trumpet anymore.
All right. I'm expecting some sort of, display of the skill at some point.
No, that skill died 20 years ago.
All right, moving on. Jana was on 15 Minutes of Lame, everybody. Did y'all watch it? Anybody in the chat?
I was on 15 Minutes of Lame, and it was so much fun. We just really had a blast with it and made jokes at ourselves. And he, because I have podcasting experience, he was really generous and listened to my ideas to make it more fun because he likes to be funny. And it came across exactly how I wanted it to, because I didn't get to see it until the rest of you got to see it. So we had done like several cuts, especially at the beginning of me looking nasty. I just like called him up and I'd be like, I've been cleaning bins all day. You got a few minutes? And we just recorded several of them. So I had no idea what the final product was going to look like or which one he was going to use. But it came across exactly how I wanted it, just really fun and lighthearted. And literally for the last 2.5 years, every episode that I listen to, I'm like, why does nobody lie for the questions? I'm like,
she has been saying this privately.
Yes.
For a long time.
For a long time. I'm like, someone has to lie. My life cannot be complete until someone has lied and said yes to everything. And so, I mean, I told him in advance that I was totally going to lie my ass off. And he called me on it, but it was, I've just really wanted to be on a show for a really long time. And so it was a dream come true. And it came off exactly how I wanted it to. So thank you, Chris. I just really enjoyed being on a show.
So I have a question. So you incepted the idea and he just accepted that you were going to do that? or did you come up with it together? Like the ugly girl transformation sequence?
I mean, it was mostly collaborative, but the initial ideas, I just thought it'd be funny because he got so much like cancel culture when he had his Hot Girls episode. I just thought it would be a funny thing. And so I think it was me. I'll have to ask him. It was just like we had been discussing it before we recorded it, and that's kind of what we came up with. But I think it was my idea to come. I mean, I don't think Chris would ever be like, "Hey, you need to come on really ugly." Like that doesn't really sound like him. I think it was my idea.
Really bring the rent way down.
Yeah, way down. But it was collaborative for sure. Like I just posed some ideas and then he went with it, and you guys got to see the final product of that, and I was just really happy with it. But now I'm like, I've seen it and I loved it, and I'm like, I gotta win that 15 minutes of lame contest. So we'll see.
Reese says this is the perfect time for the UK audience, so we're actually perfectly correct.
We're totally playing to the UK audience. That's definitely what our plan was.
I know. Well, you know, God rest the Queen. You guys are having a problem right now. So you have corgis that are unattended too. So we're here to help you out.
Yep.
I think. I'm not sure. Oh, Portugal. That's what's up too. I knew ball pythons are illegal in Spain. Are they legal in Portugal, Lorga? That's something I've wondered. Like, are you only allowed to keep natives? So you are actually still in the 15 minutes of lame contest, even though you conspired with the host to make a better product. That was something I was curious. I was like,
I don't think that anyone else doesn't have that right to
so now
conspire. Like there's no reason why you can't be like, this is my idea, Chris. What do you think? Like, why is that against the rules? But
it wasn't against the rules, but I think nobody knew it was a rule.
Right. Well, I mean, like I think about collaborative efforts, and I was there representing not only my business but also this podcast, and in retrospect of the podcast, also your business. And so I wanted it to just be really good, and I didn't want to just show up and have the same old interview. I mean, he didn't even get to some of the questions which I had like prepared in advance, because he has a very cookie cutter like question set. And so I had prepared all my answers, and then we just didn't even get to them. But it was so much fun. And yeah, if you have collaborative ideas, I don't know if he'll listen to you. You'll have to ask. I mean, maybe you'll have to flash some.
Do you think Shane would be jealous that he didn't get like, like a cool...
I don't know. I feel like in Shane's 15 minutes, didn't he interview Chris? Like, didn't he turn it around on him and was like, let me ask you some questions?
Maybe that's why he won, is he ripped the script and turned it around. All right, I guess everybody has to vote for Jana, right? I mean, logically.
No, vote for who you want, but yes, vote for me.
Yeah. I mean, for who you want. Lorga answered my question. Balls are legal in Portugal, just not Spain. So there are tons of balls, plenty of balls, he says. She says, I'm going to be gender neutral right now, if I can be. Why isn't Shane in the house? Because he's asleep.
Yes, he's asleep.
Yeah, he works overnights.
Yes, he would be here to support us if he was not asleep. But we support him sleeping so that he doesn't,
sleep.
Get hurt at work. That would not be good. So I'm sure that Shane will watch it when he wakes up and give us all the love. But
yeah,
I sleep because that guy works really hard.
Yeah, largely this is going to just be our recording sessions, and then this is the raw dog edition, and then I'll clean up the audio for like the podcast version a little bit.
We're raw dogging it a little bit.
Yeah, we're all raw dogging it together.
My snakes in the fat man. We can.
I'm looking at your
I know, it's like all I can see right now.
I'm just pointing them out in case anybody wanted to know if you had tatas. There they are.
there they are in their full glory. And I even put on lipstick, which I don't do that for many people.
I don't put on anything for anyone.
Well, that's all right. I mean,
except for my
you do your
husband, but then
sister.
even him, whatever.
Whatever. But yeah, it was so much fun, and it was a great honor to be on his show, especially since I've been listening for a long time, and it was cool. It was a cool experience.
Is there a bullshit today, Will's Hella Heat?
He said it's at 3 p.m.
Fuck. See, there's something every day at every time.
Every day. Sorry, I'm comfortable competing with bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm a dude.
All right. So, holy balls. We teased it last week, right? That today's topic would be social media. I don't know. This is going to, y'all might want to leave. It's going to be really boring. I wrote like way too many notes and I have way too many feelings about it. And
she's got big feelings, but that's okay. That's where
big feelings.
This is your platform too, to share those feelings.
I have so many feelings. And I'm a special snowflake, so I'm going to force everyone to hear them. But hopefully you can get like a good mindset is what I'm going for. Like you won't necessarily have like the perfect plan for you because it's about discovery and like what you're comfortable with and workflow and stuff. But I just want to like recontextualize the mindset to something that I think is actually more doable and manageable. I don't know. Right. Okay. So this whole discussion is about reptile breeding businesses that are intending to sell animals. If you're a reptile creator that's making content or you're selling courses, you want sponsor spots for, with cage companies or whatever, or you're chasing ad revenue specifically on a particular platform, this isn't really about you that much because you're a different kind of social media user. Because you're not selling a living thing.
Correct.
That comes with all kinds of other extra complications. You're selling you or the video or the IG post.
You're selling the boobs, then you move along.
The personality. So those like pet tubers is a different category of being than a breeder. Okay. All social media sucks. I
am in agreement with this.
In terms of societal harm, personal harm to individual people, like the proximity to being bullied for young kids, exposure to stuff they don't need to be exposed to, the ability of child predators to access underage people easily. Every platform does that. So they're not all... There's no one winner that's like, yeah, like that one is free from all
negative things.
Bullshit's going early because they're doing a UK. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Well, then y'all can leave right here and go straight to bullshit.
Just go straight to bullshit. Tell them we said hi.
Okay. If you want to know more about, I'll go into a little bit of this problems with social media, but not hard because it's much worse. It's not quite Black Mirror worse. If people have watched Black Mirror, Jana, have you watched Black Mirror?
I cannot watch Black Mirror because it feels too real life, and then I get scared, and it's no good.
Right. Black Mirror is very speculative, like, oh shit, and they're all sort of the same episode after a while. But as far as like
creepy.
the ideas of what is the worst case scenario, if you want to extrapolate really hard, sure. But if you want to watch something a little closer back to reality, you can do Social Dilemma. There's lots of good critiques of different genres on, no surprise here, social media. It criticizes itself and to try to like steer platforms away from potentially problematic users and behaviors and trends, like the underage girls dancing for adult men for money trend that is so hot right now. Yeah, pedophiles are a hard pass for me. Hard pass. Okay, moving on from pedophiles. So if something someone does is a platform does is so egregious, just like with a business, like if you have to like scrape the dead leopard geckos off of the pet store cages, you don't want to do business there. It's the same thing. Like if you find the business practices of the social media platform to be too egregious for you, it's the same criteria. This isn't, I don't know, it's a private corporation with its own set of rules, right? You just happen to use it. It's not like a public utility like water. And we can argue if Elon Musk is right that Twitter is the public square, and it's obviously never going to be a public commodity. So don't use the platforms if they become onerous or too morally ambiguous for you, because it's gross. I'm just telling you like the pros and cons here.
And isn't there a movie that you were going to recommend if someone wanted to do a deeper
Yeah,
dive?
it's The Social Dilemma, which is on Netflix. And it's, people have accused it of being like hysterical also. But if you don't think about like a worst second step, you can't curtail what's happening until you consider that. Of course people are going to like do a slippery slope argument and be like, well, what if it was worse? The Social Dilemma is actually like a documentary with like reenacted situations where people interact poorly with a social media situation and get into a bad state. And I thought it was fine as far as something that's trying to compel you to think harder about how much access you and your children have to social media. All right, yeah, we're being patronizing, but that's my job.
I'm the funky comic relief. She's the deep shit.
Yeah, bring out the tits.
Bring out the tits.
Yeah. You got to lighten the mood. There we go. There we go.
I don't have the right bra on to bring out the tits.
Not too much,
today.
just like a little bit.
There we go.
All right, that was good. Thank you.
You're welcome. They're not even in frame today, so I guess here.
Also, there are lots of. That's actually perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There's lots of businesses that do not even have social media. Reptile businesses, pet stores, vendors at shows.
Don't you feel like though it's trending more that people aren't seeing that as legitimate anymore? Like that social media.
I don't know. I almost think it's the opposite.
I disagree. I think that it's trending more towards...
like there are old farts who use fauna that have the best blank combos of animal, the best, and everyone's like, do you know the old fart who lives at the end of the road and no one can find? He's the only one with the best version of that morph or lizard or whatever. They're old AF for sure, but people still seek them out because they have the old stuff that wasn't trendy and they didn't lose it. So will they always be like that? Will the old farts have a fauna forever? No, maybe not. But I've definitely bought stuff from people because no one else had it.
Right.
And it was on fauna. They didn't have social media. And I gave them my money.
Apologize for the noise in the background. I am in the room where my rats are. And normally they're sleeping, but since I'm here, they're like excited and awake. So
they loved your titties, but in chat, by the way, I wasn't paying attention. That was what really fired them up. It wasn't me talking about the societal harm of
no, sorry. No. They don't care about that. They just care about the titties. Oh, and sorry for getting you in trouble.
Y'all can watch the replay later for special adult alone time and get some spicy feelings. So, and there's also like brokers. Like if you wanted to be someone who just produced wholesale and just sold to a broker the bells, they produce a bajillion animals of all kinds, not just ball pythons. And they broker or wholesale basically all of it. They're a very successful reptile breeding business, and they do do any social media and they don't talk to anybody. So
they don't,
not
they don't do
anymore.
interviews or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's possible.
But when you're that big already, then I guess you don't have to. But I feel like some of the old timers that aren't on social media are having to start doing that, even though it's never something they've done in the past. I don't know. I think it's changing a bit from where it was. But maybe if you have like enough established customers and you're already selling everything, then you don't need any changes. But I think that it is a huge part of being successful in entering today's industry. Like in the last few years, you have to have it, in my opinion.
Okay.
I know we disagree.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to, but I think most people will want to, because what other edge would you have? Like an old person on Fauna has the edge of, I am the only one who has this Argentine boa line for the last 30 years. So you need to find me on Fauna. Everyone else who has something common or whatever, how else would you compete? So yes, we should all be doing social media. I just don't know if every business structure must have it. And some people hate social media, so they're fine to be free. I give you permission to be free.
I don't love social media, but I'm here for it.
And then this discussion is about the big ones: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, podcasts, personal spaces like Discord and websites and mailing lists, and the Morph Market community. And then Will, I'm ignoring Vero.
Yes.
And MeWe and Pinterest and Tumblr and Medium and Twitter. Both due to size, like there's not enough penetration there to like have a good idea if it's going to be a good plan or not. And because I don't know if it's worth it to tell someone to go do that, or like the pros and cons of doing that. I think Vero is, if you really were desperate, you could make a stub account and just duplicate whatever you're posting somewhere else there, just to hold your name. But I just don't care.
I don't care either.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to tell you why we don't care. We'll get there. I promise. There's a point coming.
Yeah, it's a long time from now. All right. So all of these have the same problem. You're not paying a subscription, so you are the product. So there's nothing for sale to you. So therefore you are the product. So the ad revenue given to you is how the company's making money. And this has gotten a lot of people in trouble because they have to make, a targeted, like that's Facebook's number one selling point, is I can get you a middle-aged woman in Iowa who leans slightly Republican, who likes dairy alternatives and is into pumpkin spice lattes. And then a pumpkin spice soy creamer company can go to Iowa woman and target the ad to the right person. That's Facebook's entire business model, is collecting as much information about someone as possible to target ads to them. So
if you have not seen this, if you talk about something in your chat and then you go onto your Facebook page and then you see the ads on the side.
Oh God. Yeah. So
it's from your chatting on the side. Like they're collecting that data. Oops.
Yes. And they, like the rumors that like Alexa is listening, they're not probably rumors, are probably true. And then you have like iPhone problems. Although iPhone wants to compete with Facebook. So on iPhones, you can turn off like following of Facebook in an iPhone. So you can like, cut off the stem of information about you to Facebook's algorithm, which people should do probably because it makes you weird. But there was a lot of shit that went down 2 or 3 years ago. If we all want to like go backwards in time, we remember the Senate hearings due to the potential or real Russian influence on the 2016 election on Facebook, where ads were targeted to people that were maybe not true. And it influenced people because they thought that was like It became like a feedback loop where they became more and more like, oh, lock her up, I guess. Oh, lock her up. Oh, lock her up. Oh, fucking lock her up. Like it became a thing where the ads were placed by people outside of the country to convince people of a particular opinion as if that was true, and maybe it should be true. That's not what I'm debating. I'm just saying, like, the influence was from paid advertisements targeted at specific people. So Congress was like, Facebook, can you do something about that? And they're like, yeah, okay. So at that time, 2019, they were like, okay, so now we're going to enforce our terms of sales or terms of service, which is included no animal sales. So after all that negative attention and everyone was crying about it, that's when the animal sales ban started to be enforced. It wasn't enforced all before that, even though it was in the TOS, because they didn't care. They were just doing whatever. And then they're like, uh-oh, pants down.
Uh-oh, we got a spanking.
Uh-oh, spanky poo. And so that's the whole reason why Facebook went to shit. And then the like anti-hate speech algorithm that loses its fucking mind on Facebook right now, you'll all experience it. You'll be like, I'm going to smash this burger. And then it'll be like, you cannot threaten that person with violence. The algorithm is very sensitive to smashing of any kind. So that really like puts a damper on like a normal conversation. Like you're not doing hate speech. You're just talking about a burger. So people are fleeing Facebook in droves, is what I'm saying, as far as Facebook goes. People are still there, obviously, but whenever somebody says to me, like, I don't do anything else with Facebook because everyone's there, I'm like, hello? Have you read the news recently? Like in third quarter or fourth quarter 2021, they actually lost more users than they gained. And they have clawed a bunch back in 2022, but they're not going to be like the place everyone goes to. Maybe. Unless they win this sort of existential fight that they're going through, because they're doing stuff like this, like scaring people away with like over enthusiastic algorithms curtailing hate speech. So you can you can use it if you want for like your personal stuff, but I'm talking about Reptile now.
Yeah, can I touch on that just for a second?
Yeah.
All you lovely people who are friend requesting me on Facebook, I love it. I love the support. But I have business pages and then I have a personal page, and my Facebook page is under Jana King. That's my personal page. So if I'm ignoring your friend requests, it's not because I hate you.
She does hate you.
I don't hate you.
Oh, okay.
But I have like under 200 friends for a reason. I mean, I post most of the things on there so that my family that lives out of state can see my kids, and I do a little bit of posting about like my podcast and stuff, but that's just so my family and close friends can see what I'm doing business wise. But for the most part, that's just a personal page. It has nothing to do with my podcast or my snake business. And that's why your friend request is sitting in my please accept me box. But it's not personal. I have a Instagram page that you guys can go and follow.
Why don't you decline the request? Do you want people to feel bad?
I just don't even look at the requests, to be honest.
Okay.
So I don't even know how many are in there. I mean, every once in a while I'll go through and I'll just like clear all or whatever, or decline all, but it gets to be pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I do have a mixed personal and business Facebook page. Like I'll accept Reptile people, and sometimes I'll just deny a bunch of them because I'm just like, I don't know why you messaged me. But I just don't care about Facebook anymore. It's so low rent. No offense, old people. So many old people being weird on my timeline. Every time you're like, oh, there's a nice snake. You know, just like the weirdest people you're related to. You're like, I'm an adult. Why are you on my feed being weird on my feed? It's not like a personal space for you to air your weird opinions.
Well, and then I have lots of people in my family that actually don't care for snakes, and so they like block my postings if I'm trying to post about my business and stuff, because they're just like, I'm not here for the snake content. I'm here for the kid content. So I just try to keep that space. There's some bleed over, but I try to keep that space separate. But who knows what will happen in the future? But Facebook is not the future. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alex, I like you. I think we could be friends. So like, I want to accept you on Facebook, like friends, more connected than just like randos. And I don't mind randos either. I love all people. I'm just like, I very rarely post to Facebook at all anymore. At all. I'm like on my page. I'm just over it. That's all. What a complainer. All right. Let's go back to the worst analysis of social media of all time. Facebook groups. How do you feel about Facebook groups, Jana?
Oh, Facebook and keyboard warriors and all that. But yeah, I mean, that's the only reason that I'm still on Facebook is all the reptile groups, because you can't get those groups on Instagram. It's not really the same kind of platform. And so there is the community still in the group. So that is what they have to offer. And if you can find some good groups that aren't terrible, some of them are, but I mean, I'm there for news because we're on a podcast, and I'm there for community, and those I can't find anywhere else, and I don't really Discord, so that's my avenue.
We'll get to that.
We will get to that later down the list, but that is the avenue right now, because forums are kind of old school now, and I'm not savvy on the morph market forums. We'll get to that later too, but yeah, I am a part of a lot of reptile groups.
Me too. And some of them are excellent, like moderated correctly. They have a clear goal. There's no power trips, and they delete stuff that's not very nice to read or look at, because you're like, please stop. My eyes, or whatever. Or it's not even like a learning opportunity. It's just being tortured. It's just, because of the animal sales ban, so many groups got deleted.
Yep.
And are still getting deleted. But locality boas got deleted just like 2 weeks ago. It's a no sales group that's been no sales for this whole time. It's just like too many keywords lined up, and they're like, well, bye. So all of the work, all of your cool jokes, all of your, discussions, and you had a breakthrough, all of it's gone. There are years of groups with discussions and information gone forever because Facebook lost its mind and they couldn't claw it back. Still. So I'm just like, I go there, I look at stuff, I'll like stuff, but I don't want to do any like permanent long-term work on that platform to help. I'll take them off the platform. I'll talk to you somewhere else. I'll message you in DM because we can have like a connection, but I'm not going to write like a cool, like long arena virus discussion or nidovirus discussion in a ball python group or boa group or whatever, because it's going to get deleted. And then it's gone forever. Years of work and friendships and connections are all bye-bye. Also, the Facebook groups are not searchable outside of Facebook. So if you Google like,
I have an interruption. Keep talking.
That's all right. If you Google, my snake is egg bound, I need help. You don't get any of the cool discussions on a Facebook group. You have to log into Facebook and Google egg bound female in a ball python group and sort through like the worst, least specific information possible. You might get a couple good threads, but then you're like, I swear there was another one posted by, Billy Bob. And then, so then you end up searching Billy Bob in that group because you try to like
literally done this. Yes.
You try to like link it up. That is not an efficient way to share information with people.
It's not
at all. So it's not searchable. If inside of it, the search is terrible, it's easily deletable, and everything we're doing is not really that kosher with the Facebook algorithm anyway. So how much time do we have on that platform? I don't know. Not very much. I still go there, look for content and talk to people, but I do not make like active attempts to
contribute.
I like our little harem group, but our harem group is always getting ready to be deleted at any time.
At any point, it's
already in the name. So that's why I want to give you all the show notes and the links, and we can talk and do memes, but I want the real substantive content to be somewhere where it's not going to get deleted for hate speech on a hamburger.
Quit hating on the hamburgers, Jessica.
Quit it. Also, what's your opinion of sales on Facebook nowadays?
I mean, you can get away with it.
No, I mean, like, how much percent sales are because you're on Facebook?
None. Nunsies.
None, says Jana.
Nunsies. I used to post to our local group, like the Washington State Reptile group. Mm-hmm. There was like 3 or 4. But half of them are gone now. They're really careful.
A bunch of them were deleted.
They're real careful about what they'll approve, and so you have to sometimes submit your post like 4 times before you've gotten the language correct. I mean, like, you can't even sell an aquarium on Facebook Marketplace sometimes because they tell you that you're trying to sell an animal when it's
right.
They
empty, assume there could be an aquarium,
nothing in it
right.
Aquarium, and so they're assuming you're trying to like skirt the system. And it's like literally you put up a picture of your aquarium that's sitting in your backyard, and they're like, no,
could have an animal in it.
Right.
Remember how I had chickens and ducks? You're allowed to sell food, so you can sell eggs, but I could never get a post to go up that communicated that the eggs were not currently in a chicken. Ever.
Okay.
Ever. And I've seen other people post eggs, and I'm like, how did you get it in? So I would copy their wording, and I'd be like, butt nuggets. No, unacceptable. Like, no words could describe these eggs correctly to get someone to come buy them from me for $3 because I had like 12 trillion. So that's very like debilitating towards any kind of animal business. Like if you write snake rack, unacceptable. You have to write rack. You know, it's just.
Yeah, that's pretty frustrating.
And then I think it was Will. Yeah, Will's has it right. Like the smaller groups, like Puzzle Morphs is a good group because all everybody does is post pictures of puzzles.
Yep.
And then people are like, hot. So hot. Love it. Let's talk about it. But they're never really like yelling at each other or losing their mind. They're just talking about puzzles. So you have an aggregation of puzzle morphs in that group.
Correct.
Good group.
You can see what's currently going on in the project just visually.
Yes, that is good. So that's why, but it's sort of like a Instagram at that point, right?
It is. It's still not searchable, really. Like you just you keep up with it and know what's in there, but you can't find it again later by searching for Billy Bob.
Oh my God. I save Facebook posts and I can barely even find them when I save them. Like it's another 10 steps to go to your saved posts and sort them that way. Please help me. Some other platform, save me. Please. We'll get to that. The local groups are still good because that's a person who you could sell to in DMs. Like I've sold a lot of snakes from local groups because I posted a picture of a clutch like reveal or whatever, and then they'll DM you. So I would still be on Facebook, still in local groups, still be on specific groups. There's a lot of big news that comes out on Facebook first. I mean, we've already like revealed that because it's always like a Facebook post because that's more of like a talking platform. So you still got to be there. I just don't know like how much real effort people should be putting into a platform that doesn't want you there. They don't want you there, guys.
They are trying to cancel you.
Yeah. So
from any avenues, burgers or otherwise.
You should have a Facebook business page.
Yep.
Because
I just have mine linked to my Instagram, so it's literally like cut and pasted for me.
Right.
Sorry.
And the like transfer from Instagram to Facebook doesn't work for Reels. It only works for pictures. So you have to still sprinkle pictures into your Instagram growth strategy or whatever you're thinking you're doing just to get the content over to Facebook automatically. And I Facebook business pages to me feel like a stub account too, where you're just like, I know I have to do it to like keep it. And then every once in a while, someone will send me a message to the business page about a morph market that they don't for some reason want to message there, or something they saw on Instagram. So you just need that extra funnel. Correct. But it's something I put minimal effort into. I know some people put a lot of effort, but the time of the Facebook business page is over. And the advertising that they do offer you as a business, because you can't sell snakes, but you can pay them to advertise snakes. Yeah.
But not for sale snakes.
No, but to look at snakes. But go to a link there, you could buy snakes, but you can do that. I've gotten ads for Aussie Boys on Facebook. Have you ever gotten that?
Yep.
Yeah. I just don't think that kind of ad money is successful. Maybe we should ask Aussie Boys. But it finds it difficult to target the correct person. Like, how many people did he not get targeted? Maybe if someone has ever searched ball python into Facebook, he can target that keyword search and then hit those people. It's just like people aren't going there to look at ads for ball pythons, like in their main feed. I don't know. It just seems largely like a waste of money. Maybe not. Ozzy, right in. If that like ad campaign was successful. So that's why I wouldn't even look into any of that back end stuff. If you're a plumber, if you do a trade, if you have like a local thing, tree trimming service, bush trimming service, then yes, I think local Facebook ads that have like a geographic zone, that makes much more sense. But you're a weirdo with one specific snake that has a set of morphs, or it's a certain age and has certain properties. A blanket sort of ad for, like, Aussie Boys has nice snakes, but I rarely need Aussie Boys' snakes, if that makes any sense, because they're not in my project. So even though I buy snakes, him advertising to me, it was a waste of money because I don't need his project snakes. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, waste of money. What do I know, though? Facebook Lives. Have you ever been to a Facebook Live that had more than 10 people? That wasn't like an MLM.
Live.
Never been to a Facebook
Live. Maybe no, they usually go to YouTube. I was gonna say maybe like a auction to help people, like a fundraiser reptile type thing, but I think they're on YouTube usually.
Yeah.
But no,
I think like from the ground up did a Facebook Live and a YouTube Live. And originally it was IG and YouTube, and then it was Facebook and YouTube. And some other people use it, but very few. So I'm just not sure if it's ready to accept people into it as like a live streaming platform. I know they're trying to poach, Twitch streamers to get their gaming platform going. I looked at their setup. It just looks rough. So I'm just going to not recommend that in general until they put some more money into the back end of keeping it together. Unless you're selling LuLaRoo, which is apparently why that blew up 6 years ago or whatever. Don't do an LM, everybody. It's bad for you.
Isn't this a multi-level marketing scheme? That's another episode entirely.
So it is another episode, like why we are close, but not exactly. But the main point is anyone can be in anywhere of the pyramid if they want to. In an MLM, you must. It's your downline that is how you have money. You cannot absorb someone else's downline.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I'll buy that.
So if you're a ball python breeder and you're like, I'm going to go to the next level of the pyramid, just put in more money or whatever. You are the next level now. Now your downline is everybody again.
Now we're into Scientology.
Ooh. Now we're getting banned. We're getting shadow banned. Fuck.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Oops, yes. We can censor that out.
No, we can't.
Oh, yeah, we're live. Dang it. There's no censoring Jana. I can say whatever I want.
Keep it together. All right, Facebook Shorts and their video function. This is doing much better. I've seen much better traction because they're stealing like the Reels structure to Facebook. So if everything wants to be TikTok, that's fine. I can accept that we're all degenerates. But should you be putting a multiple different things in each thing that are almost the same kind of thing. Please, no, we don't have time for all this. So I'm just going to say, like, blanket, don't worry about that feature right now until we see if it takes off for the community. Try it if you want. I'm not making triple reels. I'm good.
No,
I got shit to clean, remember?
I've got nursing school and 3
I
kids
know.
and shit to clean. So
there's so much shit around here, and it's all stuck to everything.
A lot of bin scraping happening this week.
So on Facebook, some of your posting and effort and diligence is monetizable in terms of from the platform. Like if you did a live, you can get, I think their currency is stars. Someone can send you stars, which are like bits on Twitch. And you're just like, I'm live and people are just sending me money. So it's sort of like a super chat, but like a smaller amount. And people can like sub there. It's just like not a well mechanically on the back end. The website just isn't ready for like someone to take over the Facebook Live reptile scene, which there is none. So wouldn't worry about it too much. I'm just giving a blanket. Like Facebook is cool. Use it as a stub. Use it to talk to people. Do whatever. But I wouldn't put like your main content creation emphasis on Facebook because they don't want you there anyway. You're this close to getting your account deleted at all times because you sell living things. So I wouldn't put as much effort into it, to me. Keep the account, though, in case, I don't know, the metaverse takes over and we have to log in to our snake's buttholes to get online. Who knows? If that happens, we're all probably not keeping snakes anyway. Instagram. Is Instagram the golden child still or now?
People think it is. People think it's the end all be all, but I maybe even thought that before we talked about this in more depth, and my opinion has changed.
I still like Instagram. It's fine. But it's more pleasurable to look at than, a Facebook group a lot of times. But Meta owns it. And so the animal ban rule applies. So you all have gotten it. You accidentally wrote available in your account. You're like, check out my morph market for availability. Wrong. You get a like a TOS strike now every time. Or what if you say like, I'm available this weekend to hang out? There's accidentally a snake in the background. That just happens too. Or just like, I have too many corn snakes. Someone come get them. I got pulled down for that. It doesn't even say they're for sale. I'm just like making a comment. Anything that even vaguely implies the animal's being exchanged for some sort of money is a TOS infraction. It makes it less fun, Jana. It's a lot less fun to me.
It is a lot less fun.
And the algorithm is trolling for hate speech and violent content and whatever. So we've all seen censored pictures of just a snake in someone's hand. There's like, this must be a giant dick. Right? Surely to have censored it so much. It's a snake in someone's hand. And this is like violent content. Okay.
I mean, I can understand if it was scaleless, but just a regular old snake does not need to be shadow banned and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and then it feels less dramatic. Will's being the real MVP. He shared it with Vero. Maybe they'll learn something. Maybe not. I don't know. I like the low drama. And you know why it's low drama? It's because people aren't talking to each other. They're just talking under each other's posts.
Let's not talk to each other at all.
So that's no why it's low drama. It's because there's no conversation there. All the conversations are in DMs. Do you think you get more DMs on Facebook or Instagram? Just in total?
on Instagram usually, or people will find me on Instagram and then they'll come to Facebook and then they'll message my Facebook page.
That's some deep.
And then like I have to, when I get a DM, I have to switch from my like personal account, and then I have to like, it's like really cumbersome to talk to somebody on Facebook from a business page that's connected to your personal page.
Right. The new like
so
business meta suite messaging software is.
I have that, but it's still.
No, I'm saying it's worse than it was before.
Oh, okay.
It's got a lot
I don't love
features that I think bog down what you're trying to do.
Correct. And I try to redirect people like back to my Instagram because it's just easier to talk to someone because I don't have to like do 12 steps just to see if they've replied to my message. But mostly on Instagram is where I get people talking to me. And that's what I prefer.
Me too. And I know people have it reversed. Like if they have a large following or notoriety on Facebook, but if someone's going to cold message me, I feel like I get 70-30 Instagram to Facebook.
Yeah, that's about accurate for me too.
Yeah. So is that like because there are more people there, or is that because people are willing to be chattier on Instagram?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah, Beast Morphs thinks that Instagram is easier for messaging too. I think the format is more convenient. It's much faster to switch between different pages than on Facebook. So that's a win for Instagram. But Instagram has kind of lost its mind a little bit with Reels. What do you think about Reels? Do you like Reels?
That's not my favorite. I feel like it's a necessary evil if you're trying to build your platform, or if you care about follows, or if any of that matters to you. It's a necessary evil to try to get yourself shared so that people see you. But is it worth it? I don't know. Let's talk about it.
So I actually like the idea of Reels. Like forcing people to use a video of their snake might actually capture more of like the quality of the snake than a still.
Oh, I do think it's actually, it's way better for
you're
seeing
like,
the real color.
Cool to be like in the sun like this. Like it's informing it better than like somebody like photo corrected it and fucked around with it a ton. So that's good. Good. I have like a weird situation where people that will follow me will only like my still images and not my reels. Like they are so mad about reels. I'm like, I didn't make this up. Just like all of them. I can tell what they do. It's very specific. It's targeted. I'm like, whoa, you really? Because he still does just stills. And I'm like, sorry, bud. This is the way it's going to go. So obviously Instagram is competing with TikTok with like short, funny TikToks. Basically, that's what they are. Half of the sounds that are like trending were trending on TikTok 2 or 3 weeks ago. And that's okay. Meta's playing catch up. But I've definitely seen a lot of growth off of the use of Reels. And
for sure.
Great.
But my Reels do probably 20 times more than my pictures.
Yes, in terms of reach and engagement. Correct. So more eyes see them, more eyes heart or comment on them. And you can tell that all that in your insights on the Instagram feed. So there's very little incentive except for like the cross posting to Facebook to do a still picture, unless you're just like, don't feel like doing a reel, whatever. It's fine. I just wanted to tell everyone that literally all of those reaches and engagements and then subsequent followers, they literally don't matter in my experience and looking at other people's accounts. There's a lot of people who have 30, 40, 50K, 60K, 100K Instagram accounts, and they could have bought followers. They could have not bought followers, but I think most of them did not buy followers. There's just a lot of people who will follow and heart are real in the world. And they live in Bangladesh mostly. There are definitely click farms in Bangladesh, but besides them, there's other countries. And just in case anyone wants to know, you can't export a snake that costs $100 to Bangladesh. I don't even know if Bangladesh takes in ball pythons, but your reach is reach, but it's not going to anybody who can buy from you. So what is the point of all that effort? It's fine, right? If it doesn't take that much more effort than taking a still, it looks more beautiful to someone who would want to consider purchasing it in your country of origin or to a country you can export to. But whenever I go through my followers, I'm just deleting bot farms and people with no post and no profile picture that just liked and followed one picture. So the bot farms must mimic a real person in order not to get caught by the Instagram algorithm. So they will just like one of and follow one of many things, so that when they get like utilized by someone who's going to pay for the likes or follows, they don't look as suspicious. All of those bots. Does that hurt people's feelings that they're 40,000 Instagram following is really like 2 to 3K? That's why I remember that like episode. I was like, I don't know the real number of active Reptile accounts on Instagram. And you were like, Billy has 60K or something when it was deleted. And I'm like, not even sure if that's the number of Reptile users on Instagram. I can't tell you what it is, but I have a feeling it's actually much less than that. It's a very targeted group, so it's fine. I just think if you don't want to do reels, who cares? Like, it's fine. The quality of the subs and follows I get from reels is not high. So it's just chasing clout and numbers on accident. You don't even know that it's clout and numbers. Because I don't see like a big sales rush from like a really good reel that's popping off. I see a bunch of Bangladesh accounts with no profile pics.
That's very disheartening. Thank you, Jessica.
Just go look
Thank you for ruining
followers,
it for
right?
me.
And I delete them because I don't need them. But who has time to go through all of your followers and be like, no, they're just like dead account. Great. Awesome.
I've never once gone through my followers, so.
Okay. You don't have to. It doesn't matter. But I'm just telling everyone the number is not a direct correlation to sales. If you're like, oh man, that guy's got a lot of clout, a lot of people like him. It's just like a dude sometimes. You're like, why is this one bulb Python breeder have 30K? He just does a lot of reels and accumulates a lot of bots on accident. Am I a bad person for saying that? Maybe. I'm just saying don't worry about it. If you want to do reels, go for it. And hashtags. So a lot of people use a lot of hashtags. And Instagram put out I think it was actually a reel that said like, hey guys, you don't actually
this is old news.
Bunch of hashtags. It was like a year and a half ago. They said you don't need any hashtags if you don't want any, but if you do want some that like round out, your caption, because the Instagram algorithm can tell what's in the picture now or video, can tell all the words in your caption, can tell what you have posted previously, and can tell the hashtags. So you don't. If you go on YouTube or something, you can see a lot of videos of people like testing it. They will try to see if they can get on the Discover page with no hashtags or with a couple or with 30. It doesn't matter anymore. Not with the current algorithm that exists in Instagram. I have gone trending on a specific hashtag, but I've also gone trending for that keyword search without that hashtag just because it was the same kind of snake. So I've been trending on corn snake. And I've been trending on corn snake without the hashtag because it was a corn snake. So you can do whatever you want. I like to write jokes in mine if I have like the energy to like write extra jokes. It's all made up. Everything you ever learned is fake.
Just forget everything you ever learned.
That
was people telling you
like
that you need a picture and a reel and a story every day. You don't think that that's valid?
It's fine. It's just more content. But like, that's good because you have a reel for reach. You have a story to transfer to Facebook or not a story to transfer, or a reel to transfer. Fuck. A picture to transfer to Facebook and a story, because there are some fuckers that really like stories and will only look at stories. I don't give a shit about stories. I hate them. Yeah, it's like a Snapchat steal. Whoop. So they wouldn't see your post if you didn't have a story because they don't go to their feed. So that's how you drive views.
My main problem with Instagram is that it's not very easily searchable. I mean, the hashtags do help. So if people stop using the hashtags, then it makes it like if I'm looking for a specific project on Instagram, if people have tagged in that project, then I can go through and look at who's on that project with me. And I find that very helpful. But if people stop using the hashtags, then it makes it.
Yes, that would be a reason to stay in the hashtag. But what about like people who are like hashtag boss babe? Hashtag
right. I'm never going to search that.
It has 2.1 million. Yeah, use a very specific one to your morph, like hashtag Kiki ball pythons or G-stripe clown. Because maybe the 10 people who care that actually would search that to see new versions of it would be interested. Right. But the algorithm should be good enough though to actually, like, if you wrote G-stripe clown in your comment, in your like caption, it will pick that up if someone's doing a discover related to that hashtag. Just not if they do only a hashtag search. I think Instagram's like this close to deleting all hashtags. So put that out there.
Hot take.
Hot take. Yes, if you want to drive growth, do a picture or reel and a story. But no one can search you, and your shit is going to fall off the Discover page in a couple weeks. Have you ever seen something like get picked back up more than a month later?
Never.
All that work, all those beautiful pictures, all those beautiful reels, it's all for naught, brothers.
But if you do want the clout and you do want followers, there was a local person that did an experiment and they posted a picture, a reel, and a story every day for like 6 months. And they had like 1,000 followers when they started, and now they have like 25,000. And that was doing it consistently every day for 6 months. Now I don't have the time or energy to do that, but it worked to get followers. I'm saying I don't know the legitimacy.
Does that matter?
I know that's what I'm saying. Does that matter? Does that matter to you? But it does work.
Yeah, you can accumulate a lot of Bangladeshi bots doing that. I'm saying it doesn't matter at all. Maybe I'm wrong. Right in. Because I definitely have sales that are 100% Instagram based. Like I put up a picture, I was like, so beautiful, this little noodle boop. And then somebody messaged me in the DMs. We pay through Cash App or whatever. And it is all contained within the Instagram platform. And I never had to go to Morph Market first and then come back. So just like Facebook, you can 100% have self-contained sales through the messenger. I ain't chasing shit. I ain't chasing anybody, Jana. Hey,
I am fully aware. She is raw dogging it all. I have experienced this. Yes.
So reels are monetizable now. Are you monetized yet?
I am not monetized. I am not a cool kid. They have to pick you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I know people who are monetized and have gotten, $1,000+ from Instagram, which would be cool. That would be another reason if you're monetized to have a big clout following, is that they're more apt to look at you.
Yes, because the bots will look at your ad and you get basically.
So I'm not saying it's all for naught. I'm not sure I'm willing to put that much effort into something that isn't forever. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Are you monetized?
So I am not, because I said the word available once. And also the creator fund has gotten smaller. So there's the $1,000 payouts are going away for like smaller creators to just like pop off with a good reel. I mean, write in how much you get, but most of them they get titrated down after a point. So if you can be monetizable, I would say do it. Like, why not? It's just like free money, and then focus on reels, because why not? Yeah, sure, please. I just don't like my followers. I prefer my followers here on YouTube. Like all these people over here.
I was just gonna say, I prefer to put my energy and time into the podcast than doing a reel and post and all that every day. So I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm putting my energy elsewhere.
Right. And then dirty deletes on Instagram. What do you think about that? How many
Dirty
accounts do we
delete.
know where the whole thing was like, bye, with no like infractions before it or whatever?
I know
JP
of at least like a
Reptiles, Mutation
dozen big
Creation,
ones. Yeah.
Blind Strike was just deleted.
Dirty deletes. No
There's no
explanation.
infractions either. It's just bye. It could have been people like who didn't like reporting, bulk reporting the account. Like if you just reported it every day as like sexual harassment or something, even though it was just like a snake, the system's like, I guess this guy's really fucked, and then just deletes it because there's just too many reports coming in at one time. Like and then a lot of people don't get it back ever. Billy didn't get his back. I've seen some people get theirs back.
Yeah, I find that really frustrating that they can dirty delete you, but they also, like, if you can provide evidence that someone's a scam account, they don't care.
No, World Pet Magazine.
They just don't care. Like, you're like, they're stealing photos. This is like a whole person trying to be me. I know someone, a big name like Miguel, someone was completely trying to be Miguel on Instagram, and all these people were reporting it, and they're like, looks legit to us. Bye.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Checks out.
Totally fine. Okay. So I mean that does bother me, but for the most part, like that's where most of my content is. That's how I feel like I legitimize myself as a ball python breeder, to prove that I'm not a scammer, to prove that I have history.
It's an easy way to prove that you're a person. Easy in quotes here. It obviously, if it's gone, it's gone. But if you just took a picture every day for 2 years, you're obviously a person who's not a scammer. Hopefully.
Yeah. And we are hoping to continue lives. We have pretty busy lives, both of us, and we're in different places now. And so the live format, it's a better, we'll get to that when we talk about YouTube, but it's a better format for us. And it's easier on Jessica because she does all the legwork and she's busy.
You do the tit work though, so it's fine.
Oh, I'm not doing it right now. Sorry.
I know. Hurry. I'm gonna leave.
And so just to make Jessica's life a little easier, we're seeing if this format works. If we completely come off as airheads or Karens, the jury's still out. We'll see.
I don't care. Sorry.
She doesn't care if I look like an idiot. It's fine.
You're not an idiot. My problem is like I prefer it when we don't sound super mentally inept, but we are. So it's fine that the YouTube version will be sort of long and
raw,
some ums and some confused moments where we like search for our words. And then if you don't want to sit through some of that, fuddling around, then I'll try to clean up the audio version so that when you're doing poop, it'll be a faster listen, but with the same content, basically.
That's right. You'll notice
fantasy,
correct. When you notice with the lives that, exactly, there's a big Jessica makes us sound so much better than we sound in real life. But here we are, raw dogging it, real people. There's there's pauses. Often she'll ask me a question and they'll be like a big long pause. She takes those out for you guys because she loves you. But here we are.
But
two of them. It's just this is what's happening now. So we're planning to continue the live.
Doing great.
As long as it doesn't backfire too badly on us. We'll see.
I'm planning on doing the lives. Jana, I'll trick Jana into it. I'll trick her.
She's tricked me into this whole process, so she'll continue to trick me and offer me shiny, pretty.
So I think when you're doing a live, maybe we'll talk about this in the YouTube section, but it's much easier to have a connection with Will better instead of just like a weird parasocial where people will just listen and they're like, I want to say something. There's a chance for people to contribute. So we'll be doing at least some % lives because we want to
engage,
talk to people.
Yeah.
What a bunch of weirdos.
So we're going from just talking to each other to actually talking to other people. So we'll see how it all works out. But this is the plan going forward, to do lives and then have the raw dog on YouTube and the cleaned up version for podcast listeners while they're, scooping shit.
Excellent. All right. So the TLDR for Instagram is, I think we both like it pretty good. but it's basically going to, since it's Facebook's little baby, it's going to Facebookify going further into time.
Correct.
More onerous algorithms that think you're sexually assaulting people or whatever. So it's fine now, and I think you should use it, but the degree to which you want to use it is just up to how much time you have. If you don't want to do a reel, that's fine. Your reach will be less, but take a picture every day just to prove you're a person for now. And you have like a genuine interest in animals and comment on people's stuff. And that's pretty good. You're doing great.
Well, and it's also possible that they'll decide altogether that anybody in a animal sales business format, it's just
that's what I'm
deleted.
the most worried about it.
I'm worried about that too. So
yes.
It's like all that history, all that legitimizing yourself and proving that you're a real person and that you've been here for an established amount of time. They could just decide, okay, we're just going to blanket ban all of you and our entire industry's presence on social media like Facebook and Instagram. They could just decide to go
bye.
And it's a little scary.
There's no current risk of that, I think, but there's a trend line here.
There is a trend very good. Leaning that way. That doesn't look good.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about TikTok. I know I'm a bitch. Can't stop complaining about TikTok.
I am not on TikTok. I have never been on TikTok. I don't TikTok. I am 36 years old.
You want to try to get on TikTok?
No, I am 36 years old. I will not be on TikTok.
What if I explained it to you as like, here's a bunch of reels, and that's all it is, no still pictures. Would you then be interested in TikTok if you didn't know anything else about it?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I'll just post those to Instagram. That's fine. Because they're trying to copycat
right. If you're already doing like
doing it,
work.
Right. I mean, I know you can like link your TikTok and they'll put your reels from one to the other or whatever, but I'm fine with Instagram. It's cool.
Instagram does penalize TikToks that are ported over that have the TikTok logo on it, though. They know that it's there and they hate it. So if you're going to do it, you have to save the file before it. You have to do it reverse, like do Instagram first and then port it to TikTok, or just build it in like iMovie or something and then upload it to both separately. Okay. So like what's the problem? The problem with TikTok? TikTok seems good on paper. It's like a lot of reels. It's the fastest growing social media platform. It's got a lot of young people in it. And once all the old people die on Facebook, what will Facebook do? I don't know. But they're having problems with censorship of stuff that they don't think is very good to them. So they have a bad history of censoring specific people for stuff as fun as just ugly, but also like they'll censor people who are not attractive and then like push the lever up on people who are attractive just to be like, oh yeah, this platform is full of hot people, which, you know, on paper you're like, that sounds great, right? But if you happen to fall in the ugly category and you have something interesting to say about your snake, you might just be like, why do I only get like 3 views? Well, you might look like a dog. Sorry. So like, is that cool to have like such like a bias towards aesthetics? Maybe. I don't know. Depends on your feelings. And then they've also done that for like gender, race, LGBTQ. They'd be like, or disability. They'll find a disabled person and be like, turn that one down, way down. We don't want to look at that. It'll make people sad. And they said it was to prevent bullying. But they're just like turning down the algorithm on certain people.
Isn't that kind of like
weird?
Backhanded bullying?
I know, it's so weird. Okay. And then the Chinese government owns the parent company, which is in China. The U.S. branch of it says it doesn't leak data about U.S. citizens to China, but it does, and it continues. There was a BuzzFeed news report just recently that there's still, you know, the U.S. citizens' data is leaked regularly to China and is manipulated and used. So that's your date of birth, your name, location data, preferences. I don't think China cares that much about snakes. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't care that you have a snake-based business, but you just have to be comfortable with the fact that your personal data that is harvested from the app is not necessarily under the rule of US law. It's free. Don't put your credit card number anywhere into the app, is maybe what I'm saying. Pay, if you're going to pay for a service, don't pay within app. Go off site. They also like to censor stuff that the Chinese government does not think people want to know about the Uyghur genocide, which I brought up to Chris Eaton, and he was like, Wiener. You remember that? I remember. I don't think he knows what it is, which is fine. So they'll also like suppress news about just anything they don't want you to know, like the Indian-Chinese conflict on the border there, the Tibetan freedom, Taiwan. So is that cool? I don't know. That doesn't seem that cool. Not that we have anything to do with that, because we're snake people, right? We're snake people. We're worried about snakes. But I'm like, what if they just decide they don't like snake content one day? And they're just like, I'm going to turn the lever down. I like geckos, not snakes. Yes, turtle, but not salamanders. I don't like, it's such a weird algorithmic mix that's not driven by popularity or being true. You know, it's just driven by whatever's going on over there. It's very confusing. It makes me feel extremely old and a curmudgeon. I am a curmudgeon, but if you, it is very addictive and can be very good. I've been on it. You're like, oh, beautiful cat video, beautiful baking video. Could you make it educational and reptile related and like spicy and fun? Yeah, I think you could. You just have to accept all those other potential negative parts and not put your credit card number in there.
TikTok does not interest me. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I could, show off the tatas and I would get shared. But
you could.
But I oops, sorry everybody. Got a little frisky over here. I just I'm already doing 2 social medias plus a podcast. So if you want to see me on TikTok, you're just out of luck.
And also, animal sales are prohibited on TikTok. So it's another
everywhere.
Not everywhere.
Not everywhere. That's fair. Okay.
And then the reels have the same problem. You have these reels that will go viral and they have big reach and you can educate, but are you going to convert to sales? Also, the demographics of the app are extremely young. Do you want someone under 18 messaging you to buy snakes on the internet? No. You want adults.
I've had that on Instagram. And I'm
Instagram has a problem too.
Could you
find your parents?
Find your parent and have them message me, because I'm not allowed to talk to you because you're 15. And I think it's great and I'll answer your questions, but there needs to be a parent in this chat room.
Yes. And that's good advice everywhere.
There's rules about this stuff. And I'm glad that you're into the industry and I'm glad you're excited, but we need an adult in the room with us, please.
Did you know that Will is an old weirdo? Good. Thank you. We need more old weirdos, please.
Well, we said Billy Bob, and his name's Will, so he's Billy Bob.
Good.
It's great, fantastic. I think we can. Oh, go ahead.
Last thing, Vine, which was like a precursor to TikTok, just disappeared one day, and everything was deleted. It's the same idea. Yeah, they couldn't like figure out a way to make the monetary stuff work out, so the whole platform just disappeared. So if you were a big Viner, all of those people just ran to YouTube. Some of them did go to TikTok, which was at that time Musical.ly. But these like flash in the pan social media sites, they end up having to like go over to other sites anyway for the creators to have continuity of their connection to their fans. So if you want to make, a contact with people on TikTok, you're still going to have to port them over somewhere else anyway. So just keep that in mind, because you can't sell animals there anyway. All right. We beat that horse to death. Fuck TikTok. I'm biased.
Am I allowed to do this? Woo!
Woo, bitches! A lot of things we say are not monetizable on YouTube. That would probably be one of them. But we're not monetized anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, so
yeah.
Now, Twitch. This one, we've been talking forever, so I'll try to make it short. But It's a live streaming platform, so like YouTube, but it's dedicated to gaming. And they have recently made a category called like zoos, aquariums, and animals or whatever. And so there's lots of live streaming of just animals in their enclosures doing stuff. So like, is there like a growth potential there for marketing? Maybe. The best one is Duck Dash. So you can like pay money and have food drop into the duck pond and all these ducks come. It's very like nice. I like that one a lot. I'm in. But is there like a snake equivalent of that? No, you're going to drop mice into like a pit of ball pythons. Go get them, guys. I mean, it might be fun. I don't know. But the best one would be like turtles. Like if you had a bunch of tortoises in a yard and you could like drop watermelon at intervals, I would pay a lot of money to watch a little herd nom some watermelon every 20 minutes.
But I'm not on Twitch either.
I was thinking about in the context of like a long form, like, you know, people on Instagram do like just chatting lives where they'll be cleaning and talking occasionally.
Yes.
So you could do that with like a much more robust infrastructure for that type of work on Twitch. So I want to encourage
people. I could be cleaning my rats right now.
Well, your titties might need to be out, but you could be paid to do that. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can do it here. Like, you might need some sort of like, you know, a streaming GoPro on your head. Does anybody watch Twitch here? Probably not.
Nope.
We'll see. Most people come for live content to YouTube and not Twitch. So I just wanted to mention that as like a potential alternative, because more stuff is allowed on Twitch than even on YouTube for live streaming purposes. But now we're going to talk about podcast, which you're already listening to, so you must love it, right?
You're already succeeding. Good job, everyone.
Oh, yay!
We're all doing it.
Jana, did you listen to podcasts before I tricked you into podcasts?
Nope, not a one. I had never heard a podcast until Jessica was harassing me endlessly on a weekly basis, and she finally conned me into watching some from the ground up. Well, that's not true. I listened to
you listened to MJ and Reptiles Unplugged and
to Chris Eaton, but MJ I only watched on YouTube. So the only podcast that I ever had listened to was Snakes and the Fat Man, and then, but like that's like a haha. But you're learning about different breeders, and so it felt relevant, and you could digest it on YouTube. And I'm very visual, so I wasn't listening on an app. So MJ and Chris Eaton, that I was on YouTube absorbing that information, not Spotify or anything. And so I would have it and I'm cleaning tubs and listening to it, but I could also like look and see what they were doing on the video, if that makes sense. But
yeah, so I would include MJ's video podcast as a podcast.
I know, yes.
Okay.
But so those two.
But you prefer podcasts with a video component so you can look up occasionally.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Those are, so a podcast to me is something that is on an RSS feed, but the YouTube equivalents are also podcasts because they're used effectively the same way. Correct. Where you're just sort of like mostly listening. I
also watched Billy's when he did it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I remember we talked about it a long time ago.
Yep.
So why do you think podcasts are good?
Well, because you've converted me mostly, because I am a podcaster. So I want to support other podcasters because I'm learning after having to listen to my own podcasts. Like, we didn't do video, so there's nothing to look at. And I kind of got into the habit of when I'm cleaning snake bins or when I'm doing rats, that it's nice to have that on the background. And at first it was a really hard format for me to absorb that way, like just hearing it. But now I've come to like, I can't clean or do anything unless I have something going on in the background. And so now I'm able to digest it better. But before that, it just really wasn't a format that was good for me because I am so visual, but you can't really watch and clean at the same time. And so I had to like develop that skill because we do a raw dog version, everybody, and then Jessica would clean it up. And so I was always surprised. at the final product. Kind of what happened with Snakes and the Fat Man. I'm just surprised at what comes out because sometimes I'd be like, in one episode I was like, bitch, I have to pee, and she's like, okay, and she like left that in, and so it's like I just never really knew how the final product was going to come out. So I was just as excited about listening to the episodes as I think some of our fans are, and that was fun for me. But I didn't need to see us. A, there wasn't a way to see us, and B, I knew what we were saying and what we looked like when we had recorded it, and so I was able to start processing information that way. And now it's like I can't not process. I don't have time to sit down and watch. Like, I'm a really busy person, and now having that form available while I clean is a good way to get like current industry, to learn about other breeders, just lots of different things that you can digest in that way while you're already doing something that is very time consuming.
Yeah, and if you have like the YouTube Premium, you can close a video and still have the audio playing on your phone. But most people don't pay for YouTube Premium. Do you pay for YouTube Premium? No,
I do not.
Yeah, I've liked them since they were more literally like a radio show, like 2007. I remember listening to like Pottercast, like Harry Potter podcast, where they would like discuss the upcoming books and the news, and you're like, oh, super nerd. Oh. Yeah, I've always liked them. It's a very efficient way to smash content into your head while you're folding your kids' underwear. You don't have to pay any attention to anything else, but you can absorb many contents.
I am definitely not folding the kids' underwear. It's a lot of underwear in my house. 3 girls.
Lord. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, you bring up an excellent point. I have more underwear than any normal human should, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, and
laundry.
Yeah, and I think Shane was very correct when he was like, people forget that there's an audio-only universe out there that does not get on YouTube to check stuff. So any other YouTube podcasts that are doing live, there's almost no reason not to rip the audio and put it up an RSS feed.
No, it's absolutely correct. Like,
you already did the work.
Yeah,
why not just rip
it's
it?
already there. There's no reason not to put it to audio only. I wish that more YouTubers would do that.
Also, cool thing about podcasts, it's very independent. Like, we do pay to have server space for the podcast, but they don't care what we say. They're not critique the us. Content. Correct.
Yeah. YouTube, as long as there's no children present.
Yeah, YouTube. So YouTube could take it down for the terms of service violations that are more severe. But what they're more likely to do, if we are monetized, is just demonetize it. They'll just make it 18+, and then you just won't get any promotion on the video, which we don't have any promotion on the video anyway, so no real loss. So like poor language, like euphemisms about sexy stuff, that kind of stuff will demonetize you, but you won't get pulled for that. You'll get pulled for like very bad things, like a whole tit slip or something. That would be unacceptable on YouTube because there could be kids around. But an RSS feed is there forever because you just if you pay for the server space or you buy your own servers and host it yourself, it's nobody.
They're not going to be able to dirty delete you.
Yes, that's why I like at least having the audio version too forever, because then it's truly is permanent at that point. It's yours. Obviously, unless we pay someone to do transcripts, it's not searchable by Google. So there's a problem of like, how do you find a podcast that has the right content in it that you want? That is the hardest part about podcasts. You just got to word of mouth that bitch.
Well, and now I know that Morph Market carries a list of reptile podcasts, which I find very helpful. Like, there was a bunch that you recommended that I'd never even heard of. And so having like a master list somewhere that we all go is a really good idea, because that is a problem, is finding other people that are talking about this stuff. Like, I usually just ask Jessica because, guys, she knows it all. If you're looking for some kind of obscure reptile podcast, Jessica can point you in the right direction.
Yeah. So I was out of the hobby for a long time, right, when podcasts were taking off. So there's a lot of like stumpy podcasts that started for a couple episodes or a year and then stop that I never got to. But I've actually tried to like dip in a lot of them just to like see the vibe of what the industry was doing through time. So that's interesting to me. Because we need to like be moving forward. So if we're all doing the degenerate stuff of 20, 10, then we're not doing that good. So I do like to listen through time and see if we're doing anything different. I don't know if we're not. We have a lot more boob talk on here. So is that an improvement?
I don't know.
It might be doing worse, actually.
Right. 843 Xotics. The links to those podcasts, if we reference them when we're talking about our like synopsis of what happened in the industry this week, she always puts the links in the YouTube. There's links in our Facebook group, the Hold Back Harem, and underneath the YouTube videos has the links too. So if we reference a podcast because it's relevant to what we're talking about, that's how you'll find the link. But I don't think we have a master list. Do you have a master list, Jessica?
No, the one that I know of is on the Morph Market community.
Okay.
Yeah, of just like all podcasts that are reptile related.
Maybe we'll drop that link.
Can we drop I'll try to find it.
Once this transfers over from live and it's like the recorded version, we'll put it down in the
I can put it in the show notes.
Quickly,
the other things that you can own yourself that have minimal like dirty deletes or censorship issues are personal websites, Discord servers, and mailing lists. You largely own large parts of that. They're usually private to you to the extent that you want them to be. And if you can't get them taken away from you, a Discord server could, but there's some weird shit Discord servers. Discord does not give a fuck what you're typing about. So making those and keeping that info is very good because
I just have trouble with the like continuous feed. So if
it's like a chat room.
I know,
going on AOL and get in the chat room.
30 years. Well, not 30, like 25 years since I was in an AOL chat room. Being predatorized by 25-year-olds. But
did you have a boyfriend when you were in AOL chat rooms? I mean,
totally.
Like, let me wink this one. He was in college.
Gosh. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Tons. Like 10 at one time.
Predator alert.
Like 14. And I had and I would do like hard
copy
letters to send out. Like
girls are so dumb.
20 boyfriends that were in the military. It was so dumb. I mean, like, man.
People at home, find your daughters and hide them quick.
For sure. Like my parents had no idea that that's what I was doing late at night. I was totally doing that research project.
This is a real talk. How many dick pics did you get as a sub 18-year-old? Just guesstimate.
Oh, probably none. I mean, this was
none.
No, Whoopsie. I mean, like I was literally like writing real letters, like pen paling people that I met on AOL. But
oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
But I don't feel like there was like no digital cameras at that point. There was no like real way to do the like dick pic slide into the DMs. That wasn't really a thing when I was like 14.
I had a Nikon Coolpix that
I had the Polaroid camera, and that
a 1/10 of a megapixel that you could take stuff.
And it's like dial up too, so it takes you like 45 minutes to log into your. I just didn't have the technology available.
That was the foreplay. Was waiting for the dial up modem to get going.
Yeah, but I had like a whole alternate personality with the email address, like.
Oh my god! Did you save these chats? Please tell me you saved them.
I didn't. I don't even have the letters anymore. I don't think. Like,
dang.
But
that would have been hot reading. We will do that live. That'll be the After Dark edition. It's reading Jana's love letters to her online boyfriend.
Oh yeah. So dirty and not. I mean, it was like fan flicks, like almost level, and I'd write poetry. I'd flirt.
You remember your AOL handle? Will's Hella Heats was AOL Salute. Wait. What was your handle? I thought that was a handle. AOL Saloon 2 guy. Yeah. My handle was It's a Duck. I think it was a number. And I think it was 7. So when I made my MSN handle, because it was... I didn't even have a Hotmail. I had a fucking MSN. That's why it's DBZ Chick 7, because at that point I was 15. But my first one was It's a Duck, which is a Monty Python reference.
Mm-hmm.
It's a duck. I was a weird child. How did we get over there?
I don't know.
What I'm saying is
we're
like
the weeds.
all this
Find our way
work,
back.
all the work of all those dick pics that you received and politely responded to in a cursive written letter with stickers on it as a 14-year-old.
My Lisa Frank binder. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. I need to find someone to do like a custom Lisa Frank sticker for this podcast with like a ball python or something that's like really obnoxious and colorful.
Yes, so
yeah,
much.
I'll do it one of these days. One day. All right. Morph market as a hypothetical future community for the reptile hobby and amphibian hobby. Because right now the not for sale is almost there. You can actually like and save people's NFS animals as if you're like following them, and you can follow their page and you can, be reminded of stuff. So John is this close to having like a feed where you're like, I wonder what all the people I'm following are doing. Like, what new activities did they do?
I'm really
We're this close, Jana. It's going to be so hot.
I'm so excited. It's like our own place that you're not going to get like shadow banned because you're saying something's for sale, because it's literally what it's all about.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm excited at the potential, although I don't like change. And so learning how to do a new system, like they just changed their like format and I'm still like back to old index. Every time.
You're going to delete that soon. Yeah, I don't do it anymore. Now that they deleted the pictures, they fit. Will's handle was Saloon 2.
No, that was the chat room. He was eerie.
Oh, fuck. I can't read. That's okay. All right. I don't like the Morph Market community forum that much. What do you think about it?
I don't
know why. It should be correct for me. There's like a vibe.
I'm surprised that you don't, but for me, that's not really a format that I.
Forums.
Yeah.
So I have problems with like, it feels like in a topic, a person will come in, make one post because they're trying to like try it, and then they'll never come back. So there's all these like stumpy threads that don't have any continuity, and some people come back and it just I have issues with like some of the moderation decisions clearly, and it's not the right vibe for me yet. The format is fine. The vibe, not fine. Not vibing. But I look forward to John stealing all the best features of Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok and putting them in Morph Market only for reptile people.
It's coming, everybody.
And OnlyFans. Okay. The last one, which I think is the winner. That's why I put it last. It's YouTube. Daddy YouTube, come to me. Oh! What do you think about YouTube? Don't you feel like you learned the most from YouTube originally?
YouTube is my left hand. I mean, I had a business before I was a reptile breeder. I wove hand-woven baby wraps, which applies to nobody listening to any of this, but I learned how to weave on a huge loom, all from YouTube. Like, I was the kind of kid that wanted to learn more things and wanted to like be taught. And so I use YouTube more than I use Google now.
Yeah, me too.
It's just like, and whenever someone's like, well, how do you figure out how to do that? I'm like, YouTube it.
Yeah, like officially Google is the first search engine and YouTube is the second most used search engine in the entire world. So
yeah, like me and Ask Jeeves, we were best buddies.
I remember.
I was asking him all kinds of things that I shouldn't have been asking him.
Whoa.
But yeah, I use it way more than Google.
Where do babies come from?
Yes, exactly. And so I consume information in the format of Google, or not Google, in the format of YouTube. And it is the new way to put out permanent content to educate and to learn how to do something. I mean, now I don't have a guy around that can do the to-do list. I have to do it. So, last week I had a clogged drain and I YouTubed it till I found the kind of doohickey that I had and how to get that out so that I could unclog it. And I had to figure that out on my own. But I didn't have to figure it out on my own. I could just Google it or YouTube it. And so, I mean, I literally in my mind, they're the same, like they're synonymous. And so that's how I learn how to do anything I don't know how to do is I go on and YouTube it.
Yeah. So YouTube to me is almost perfect. It's not perfect because they have like privacy concerns. There's some problematic content. There's like the misuse of the DMCA takedown system, and stuff will get flagged as adult when it's not. And so like that's potentially a problem. Like it could be channel killing to have too many copyright strikes within a 90-day period, like 3 and you're gone. But it's just so intuitive to like pick the place you spend the most time. I spend the most time on YouTube.
That's correct.
Also. So and I love like long form, well-researched, interesting, analytical content on YouTube. I know there's like short, shitty torture on YouTube too, and stuff that's like degenerate for kids and with people screaming and the editing is really fast. But people write like 1-2 hour, basically video essays analyzing something, you know, like sword fighting in the Middle Ages. You're like, oh, okay, let's get into that today. Okay, the YouTube rabbit hole. Let's go. Yeah. I like that. I like checking up on people. YouTube is like a great way to like check in with your collection, just like you would on Instagram. It's just a higher barrier to entry because you're having to do a video, long form video or longish form video format. That's the only problem I see. And guess what, bitch? It's monetizable up your A. You know, it's like doing the work, all the work you did on Instagram. If you could get that as like a pre-roll ad, you would have already made a bunch of money. There seems to be no problem except for it's more work, right? It's more work.
Well, you have to get comfortable behind the camera. So us going live actually helps with that because that's where, I mean, like, I had my kid in front of the camera and she wants, I mean, what kid didn't have on their back to school form YouTube billionaire as their what I want to be when I grow up? But she loves being in the videos. And so I had her for a long time. But then, you know, they went through their big takedown of like kids content stuff. Yeah. And so, you know, my kid was in the video and a bunch of ours, like we got censored or they're like took down the video. And it's just like, so it has to be me, but it's, you know, I point a camera at myself and I just get weird.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But like, obviously you get better at it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So I'm like, here to encourage you and encourage me because I'm like a literal nightmare in front of a camera so far. Because I prefer like, I would prefer like shooting B-roll and then like maybe shooting like a talking head segment and then just cutting them together instead of like, let me touch the snake weirdly and try to think of what to say. Like that has obviously been a mistake this whole time. So I'll probably do that moving forward. But I just want to encourage everybody to do what we all actually like the best, which is YouTube anyway, even if it's harder. YouTube. Also, YouTube, give me all your money. Thank you.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people message me because they saw us on YouTube.
Yeah. And people do
searching for like ball pythons to just like husbandry, and then they come across like our nidovirus stuff, and then they message me because they're all in a panic and they're like, what's going on with nidovirus? And it's great. I love it.
Yeah. And we do have people who find us specifically through podcatchers, like that are looking for reptile podcasts. Right. 100%. Shout out to all my friends in the Philippines. Because I don't think they're looking through YouTube either. So multiple prongs of attack here are good, but it's got to be YouTube. It's just like the place people who are starting reptile breeding businesses should put the most of their effort. Do put effort elsewhere. And also YouTube makes people immune to criticism somehow. And the best examples are Chris Hardwick and Go Harping. So most people are like, they're outsiders, right?
Yeah. We hate them. Pitchforks. But they still have
big YouTubes.
Big YouTubes.
With big followings, and they're fine.
collecting a check every month.
So they don't care that someone like poo-pooed them in a Facebook group somewhere privately, basically. You know, it doesn't matter.
Right.
The money and the real clout goes to people who are making a following where their people are. So it doesn't matter what someone said privately on a Facebook group 6 months ago. They're still here. Not that we specifically condone any actions of Go Herping or Chris Hardwick, or, you know, say that they're bad either. I have opinions about both, but that's not for here nor there.
That's for another episode entirely.
Right. Yeah. So far they have been uncanceled. They cannot be canceled because of the power of the YouTubes. Lastly, finally, whatever social media platform you choose, go for it. Just the whole point, though, is to make connections with people, not chase numbers of followers. And I think people get hung up on like, oh yeah, if I do these strategies, I'll get this many followers, and then people will respect me more. Nobody respects you as much as someone who's your friend, right? So make friends, no matter the size of your following. Message people, meet people in real life, talk snakes, call them on the phone, go to the Discord and hang out and be friends. And that's the real way you get real clout with social media.
Yeah.
Sponsored by PBS.
And Will, you know, if you ever watched our first episode, embarrassingly, you know, Chris is what started it all for me, Chris Hardwick. And I know that he has no respect in the hobby, but, you know, if he's bringing people into the hobby and bringing people in, obviously they move on to more serious breeders that have better information. But, you know, he's one of the only people that's gone out and done like a morph by morph. And yeah, he's just looking at pictures on Morph Market, but it's all in a condensed space that you can absorb that information. So when I was first trying to just like, you know, drink the lake of information about morphs and stuff, it was a format that worked for me. And so whether or not he's respected or whether or not you agree with what he's doing or how he's breeding, you know, he is putting information out there and he is drawing people into the business. And I mean, I wonder how many people in the COVID baby boomers watched his video that's like, oh, make $2,000 a month, whatever. Yeah. I mean, how many people watched that video and was like,
right.
And now they're in our
industry. Then don't want to admit it and want to like Correct. Make fun of him. Yeah, right. I think he's largely fine too. He made a mistake. He has a nervous laugh. This is like a tick. He's not even laughing. It's just his way of talking. And people like assumed a lot of things based on that behavior. I'm like, whoa, did you actually watch any of his content to know that he has he just like laughs sometimes? And people got weird about it. But he can't be canceled because he's just a guy on YouTube doing his own thing. So the fact that some people are like, you can't be a part of the hobby anymore. Well, guess what? He can.
Guess what? He still sells all his snakes every year.
Yeah. What? Yeah. So that level of independence I crave. I love it. I would recommend whatever, even if you don't get any views. How many people are in here? 7? Good. I love all of you. Let's get married. But you don't need a ton of people to be doing good in the reptile hobby is maybe what I'm saying. Because it's not a big group to begin with. Okay. Oh my God, Jana, it's breaking news.
Breaking news.
I don't even have an infographic. Okay. I don't even have it because it's breaking news. The FedEx reported a change in the projections of earnings for Q3 and Q4, and they are reducing the number of express flights. So those are flights with animals on them in the cargo hold. Going forward.
What?
Is such a big reduction. I don't know the reduction of flights, but the reduction in expected quarterly earnings that the whole stock market has lost its fucking mind this morning. I'm just like, everybody needs to get it together. I go to fucking Wall Street Bets on Reddit. They're all dying. It's just been madness. And I'm like, but it was FedEx's fault. And I thought I should bring it up because they're going to reduce the number of express flights. I don't know how this is going to impact the reptile industry. I don't know if they'll be like, don't put live animals on certain days because we just won't have enough flights moving on those days. I have no idea. Or they'll cut hubs out of the live animal network. I'm speculating wildly. I just thought it was crazy. Breaking news. What do you think? Did you hear about this?
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I think you're stuck. Are you still stuck?
Am I? Bit. Okay, to say I think I cut out. Is it working now?
Yeah. Did you hear about this morning?
Okay. I did not see that this morning. I got ready and took kids to school and then literally ran in from my car and sat down.
Jana is immune to the earth. All news. I was just like, oh my God.
Still lagging?
Yeah, no, you are lagging a little bit, but it's all right. I can hear you. Crazy. We'll see how it unfolds. We'll bring more news if I think it's relevant to obviously the economy's going. If FedEx is predicting, they're like, we have like a global like demand dropping for shipments like below even like pre-pandemic levels. And I'm like, oh my God. It just means it's going to harder to ship snakes if there's no flights for them to go on. That's all. So moving on to regular reptile related news. RGI, so Rare Genetics Incorporated, has given up trying to sell their genetic testing independently and has now partnered with Morph Market. Oh my
gosh. How do you feel about testing?
I love testing. I think it's fine. I think it was destiny anyway, and it will make prices drop faster, but not like so much faster that it matters. My question is, why did he stop wanting to do it independently? Did he think he was going to have such like a burden of like influx of requests once he launched the rest of the morphs that he couldn't handle it himself?
Or maybe he sees the writing on the wall that Morph Market is going to be the bee's knees. It's going to be the future social media platform. It's going to be the forum. It's going to be the sales platform. I mean, it's going to be everything. And so maybe he just wanted to be in the right place for everybody, all eyes on him. So he didn't have to, I mean, it's like free advertising. Like you don't have to navigate to try to find your customers. They're all just right there. I think it's a very smart move on his part to partner.
Right. It's very smart.
Very good business plan.
Will Morph Market become so powerful that someone will have to kill it? It'll become self-aware.
It'll become self-aware.
You know what I mean?
She needs a name, like Alexa. You know, I don't know. I think it's good. I think it was a good choice. I think it's the right move forward to combine it with Morph Market. It makes sense that we're putting everything in one place. And even if it takes over the world, I'm here for that.
So Will's Hella Heat asked how many people will test it, know that it is not a het, and sell it as a 66% to get the $15 to $75 or whatever, like price increase because it's a POS or whatever the amount is. How many people do you think will do that? Do you think this will force everyone to test every 66% het? Because we know there's like scammers out there.
I mean, it's opening up a whole new can of worms. We'll have to decide as an industry and see what happens. I mean, it's not like one of us gets to say, well, this is the right way to do it.
Oh, that's not you? I thought that was you.
No, it's going to be an evolution and we'll have to watch and see what happens. If it becomes the standard to test, you know, maybe it won't be an option to put 66% het. You'll have to either genetically prove it or you can't sell it as a het, but you could list the pairing down below. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but you absolutely could do that if you wanted to be dishonest and not keep, oh, this one's not my holdback, but take a chance. And there's still, it's going to be, I think, room in the hobby for people who might take that chance still, even with the testing. I don't think that everybody's going to test. And, like some projects still, even the ones listed here, like genetic stripe isn't on there. And I'm heavily involved in the genetic stripe clown project. And so it's like, well, we don't know how to watch it play out. It's evolve in an interesting way, and it is going to change the hobby, and it is going to change how things are sold. And there is going to be room for scammers, and we'll have to all adjust to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most ball python morphs aren't on here, but these are largely the ones that they've verified themselves, and they also got from the literature because it was published by Dr. Seidel.
Right. Like if they do the yellow belly gravel asphalt test, of course we're all going to test, because you can't sell a yellow belly / gravel at a gravel price. You have to sell it at a yellow belly price. And so if you can sell it as a gravel, you're actually improving what you can sell it for.
Yeah, you'll be like net making more money out of
correct.
a
But that's
highway
not
clutch.
right. But for other projects, that's not necessarily true. But definitely for that project specifically, it's going to be huge, because you have to sell it at the cheaper price because you don't know what it is. And so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how
Maybe
it
it'll
changes the
make
industry.
the untested 66% het price just like the price without the hets, which is almost it is anyway. They'll just be like,
Right.
this is a Mojave 66% het clown. I don't feel like spending whatever it is to test it, which formally the test was 25. I wonder if the price will go up with
some snakes, it doesn't make any sense to test them.
right. So you'll just be like, it's still a Mojave 66%. I just don't care.
I don't care, and you don't care. Test it out, see, and so in some instances it's going to matter, and some it's not. And so it'll be interesting to see how that evolves. We'll definitely, keep our finger on the pulse and let you guys know as we know. I have signed up for the
me too. Everybody go sign up. Everybody go sign up. Sign up to get in line.
I'm definitely in line just because I feel like it's relevant, and we'll see. But it'll be really interesting if the whole industry starts testing for hets and not bitching about the $25, but they bitch about the $25 for Nido. That's a whole nother discussion, but
right.
that's what I thought of immediately.
Boys and girls at home. It's correct. The same exact technology. So if you believe in one, you must believe in the other. Otherwise, you're silly. So I'm looking forward into seeing when it launches. I actually have sheds I was going to send to Dr. Seidel that she was just too backed up. So I was like, I'm not going to send it. So I just have them labeled and whatever, ready to go. I look forward to boa a lot. I look forward to corn snake morphs the most. And I've talked to Ben about Stargazer testing. So he can do all of that. These are my favorites because like a 4-gene corn snake is wildly white and pale, and you rarely know what's going on. So that would be really good. The other thing this is going to help us see is the identifications of parthenogens. So like if you bred a puzzle to an OD het puzzle and you got a bunch of, normals, like a weird number of normals, like 70%, you might want to like double check that they're puzzle or whatever, actually het puzzle, and they weren't parthenogens produced by the mom that are actually just straight up normals.
Or like retained sperm. So the reptile barn just posted a video and they were cutting a clutch. It was a puzzle clutch. And they got a blue-eyed Lucy. It was, I don't remember what the dad was. I think he was just puzzle. And then it was Mojave to a Mojave. And then they were hoping to have some holdback girls that were Mojave het puzzle. And all of a sudden he's cutting like the last 2 eggs and there's a bell in there. And my first thought is Partheno clutch, but I guess the year before they had bred her to a lesser or something. And so now they're like, now we don't know if any of these babies are het puzzle. So, I mean, like having the opportunity to send out for testing, because a normal and a het puzzle it's a very big difference in price. And
yes, there will be a lot of people like doing the extremely high end game where you go buy like a het monarch or a het monsoon and make 50%. Like why wouldn't you? So those prices will drop the fastest.
It makes me more willing to do the breedings with a het instead of just a visual
to a het
with like the 50%. I hate that. It drives me nuts. But now it's like that
now it doesn't matter.
Now that feels reasonable. That feels like, okay, yeah, we can do that. But I'm excited.
So I did a bunch of 50% het pied on purpose this year because I knew the pied gene was coming out. That's did fair. Blackhead, yellow belly to like a het pied. I was like, I do not care because I know the gene's coming out, and obviously pied's super obvious. So I could probably like guess the best bets to confirm
for sure
with whatever. Those are pipping now. I'm waiting for them to shed.
Yeah, cool I did a pairing this year, and I hatched out a snake with a ringer, and I didn't even know pied was in the mix. And so now I'm like I would test that whole clutch
because just a double check.
Just a double check. I could check the mom, because having a yellow belly het pied's way better. Breeder female proven would be way better than just a yellow belly.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll see.
It could be like just a regular ringer, everybody at home. That's not always, but you could double check for $25 just to be sure. At least like the most probable one, and then work from there, because then you're like, oh, the moms must be het then. And you don't even need to test the mom because you already know. Yeah, there's definitely ways to work it. It will totally change things. I look forward to it in other species too, because it's actually like a big deal. We'll see what happens when we get there. Oh, Tinley drama. Woo!
That shocked my pants right off. I don't even know what to do with that. If that's the wave of the future, that blows.
So to recap, Tinley coordinators sent out a Facebook message, we're on Facebook again, that said that everyone coming to Tinley bringing animals had to have a vet certificate issued for those animals to be healthy to enter the state of Illinois. And now they were actually going to enforce it, because apparently the law has been in place for a long time, but they just weren't enforcing it because this law exists in a lot of places and they just don't enforce it because they're too busy doing all this stuff.
Correct. Yes. I know it's really heavily.
Oh no, we lost Jana. Jana, you can come back in if you use the link again, if you're listening, which she might not be. She's back.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Oh, Lord. She's taking calls from her 10 boyfriends, everybody. They saw the tatas and they were into it.
Sorry, I had an OnlyFans message. I'm just kidding.
For now. Okay. Oh, and she's frozen. We're doing great.
Am I here yet?
Yeah, you're back. Okay. You might want to just kill your neighbors or something.
They're really nice.
Okay, don't kill them. I was kidding. Okay, you were saying a lot of states do this.
A lot of states, it's the rule, but nobody enforces it. But I know in Europe it's very heavily enforced. But it's just, it's so much extra work for the vendors. And I don't feel like it's actually addressing the problem that the rule is put in place to address. It's not like testing the animals that are coming. It's just literally you go to your vet and pay extra money to your vet and they sign a certificate that all your animals are fine.
Yeah. Yes. So Will's Hella Heat asked if it's one cert per ball python or one cert for the whole batch that's going. It is one cert for the whole batch. And it is just like a visual check. So they can't actually tell if they have Nido or Crypto or whatever, because they're just like, they look okay. And then but we can't necessarily expect them to do anything, because then it would be truly too onerous. It's just,
what is it doing? What is it?
Nothing. This is paperwork.
Right. And another vet bill.
Yeah. Although maybe this will keep the people who bring truly atrociously conditioned animals from just putting on a show. But Tinley's good about kicking those people out anyway. Right? The animals being pulled out of a fucking import box and immediately put in a deli and never given water and put on a cage, which happens some places.
Well, yeah, some of our shows, the animals in the dumpster and stuff, like that's crap, but it's
Well, they do big shows too. Let's not say any names. Bad people. It just was interesting that how quickly it happened and now that they were notified and then like the response of everybody losing their mind. And there it is. In Oklahoma, to import deer into the state, they have to have a negative test for a set of deer viruses. So like it is one deer negative virus test to bring it in. So it could get to that level one day.
right.
I don't know when. But I think people should still go to Tinley. They will have animals there. Maybe Dr. Stahl will do I'm a vet, just turn your phone around in your reptile room and look at it. And then you send him $25, Cash App or whatever. Or send him a rose on OnlyFans. And that's how that works. And he'll issue you a certificate. Oh, what's up, brother? You're late. We've been doing this for 2 hours.
I know, that's a really long episode.
I know, we're idiots. Let's keep going. So, I didn't know Ari had a fire. Did you know Ari had a fire a month ago now? Ari Flegel.
I heard about it on MJ.
With Robin? That interview? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about it, chitter chatter, someone was just talking about fire, and then I just didn't put everything together. And then I was then you reminded me, and I was I should go look at that. And then we found the spot fund. So Ari Flegel, he's famous for going to Papua New Guinea and looking for Boelen's pythons where they live and trying to figure out their biology and natural history. And his personal collection, the building that houses his personal collection, now his museum, had experienced a fire. Everyone's least favorite thing ever. The thing that keeps everybody up at night. Does it keep you at night, Jana?
It does.
Yeah. Because that would be the worst.
Especially when it was smoky, because we were getting the storm blowing in all the smoke from the Cascades, and everything was smoky around here in Washington State. It smelled like fire. And so I did a full perimeter walk around, went out to my building, went out to my rats, because I smelled fire and it was all it was smoky, and I knew there was a wildfire, but I was still I just had to make sure that it wasn't something of mine also on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's devastating. If people want to donate, I'll leave the link in the show notes. We'll probably donate out of the holdback fund or something. I just thought it was terrible. His museum is still there, and I think it's still getting ready to open. He has it's really sad. He was on NPR just recently. I think it was pre-fire, but the episode came out ironically this week or maybe NPR did it on purpose. But he talked about testing wild Boelens for Nido, and I thought that was really interesting. So you should check that out. Support him in his time. Go to his museum and give him $1. I feel really bad. All right. New news. Redline shipping. We talked about it last week. And I just wanted to talk about the Ship Safe Phase Pack. I've gone on a little bit of a overly excited rant about Phase 22s. Right? I'm oh, they're the best. So this is an alternative to Phase 22s. Which seems like a good idea, right? Because Phase 22s are expensive.
But are they as good?
I don't know. These are also $6. Do you know what Phase 22s are normally?
Aren't they $18 or something crazy?
Oh, no. They're I thought they were $7.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I mean, I can look them up right now.
That's fine.
Or you can look them up. I don't know. They're $5 to $7. So maybe buy a big pack or something. So these are about the same price. So I was okay, what's the benefit? Their benefit is exactly the same. The phase change temperature is 74, and which is fine. And they do not burn you when they open. Seems like a benefit. And then I was looking through their Facebook, and it's coconut oil. Jana, is that weird?
They're the same price. They're like $6.50.
Okay, same price, but it's coconut oil.
Okay, how
Have
does it
people
do what
been
it's supposed to
using
do?
coconut oil? Okay, so coconut oil is fine because it's doing the same thing. It's a sink that melts or becomes a solid at a room temperature like thing. My question is like, is it better at sinking and holding at cold or hot temperatures than the Phase 22 liquid? First question.
We need to do an experiment or something.
Yeah, I'll have to ship something. And the second question is, if this works equally as well, you could make your own phase state packs.
Right.
With coconut oil. Obviously, that might not be convenient or whatever. I did look it up, and you can get a heat crimping thing that will crimp a bag that is strong enough to be put into shipping for like $20 to $40 on Amazon. So you could. I'm not trying to compete with Redline here. I'm just like thinking
theoretically,
if you were bored and you're like, I just want to, DIY this part myself. If it does indeed work, coconut oil is kind of expensive, but it's not insane. And you can buy it real cheap at like Big Lots or Ollie's sometimes, Costco. Oh, this is what I was thinking. I was like, whoa, good idea. But A, does it work the same? Could they prove it? Or should we test it? And then B, if it does, is there like a economical way to DIY it if you wanted to? Obviously, paying them for the convenience that they did it for you is fine. But
I do like the idea of it. I like that it's not going to burn you or the reptile if it happens to explode or whatever. But I worry that it's not going to be as effective as the Phase 22. But I'd love to see more information.
I think it'll probably be the same.
Interesting. Okay.
When I first heard it, I was like, God, they're so smart. You would think I would know this. Jessica's stupid. But they're also... Coconut oil is probably more expensive than what is inside of a Phase 22. I don't know why the product itself is more expensive than what it should be. So then it's all very confusing. But like the mathematics haven't been proven out to me either way. But I'm extremely interested because that's interesting. Because I don't like burning
I was bummed that
my animals.
I had just ordered a bunch of boxes from them because they currently have the best price, and I was bummed that this came out like 2 days later.
Oh, Redline?
The coconut packs. You telling me about them, I didn't know about them. And so
yeah, but you bought boxes from Redline because they were cheaper than anybody else.
Yes.
So they're trying to penetrate.
Correct. Yes.
They're penetrating Jana, and then they're penetrating the market.
Yes.
Correct.
I knew that. So I looked at them to check because I figured that they would be offering them cheaper to draw more customers.
Yeah.
And I was corrected that it is cheaper.
And then circling back to last week's discussion, we talked about Redline a little bit and everyone was crying about it, but he went over some of his thoughts and plans on the MJ's Trap Talk session live interview on location in the Vegas show. And there was questions that we asked that he answered. Thank you for answering. So now we'll just relay them here just to circle back. So he said...
Circling back.
Remember we asked a question about Debbie's comment that no one has ever issued a refund on an animal's arrival unless it was already late. And I was like, is that true? Apparently that is true. They normally do not issue a refund unless the animal is also late.
That's what I had understood as the policy, but you said you have gotten refunds, or was it only when they were late?
Sorry, let me rephrase this. So this is about the death of the animal. Debbie said that if the animal dies, but the shipment isn't late, her competitors will not refund them.
Correct.
Yeah, I did not think that when purchasing. Maybe I didn't read it correctly. I have never had an animal die. I've had shipments be late. So I've gotten refunds for late shipments only.
Okay. I haven't ever even asked for a refund, but it's something on my radar now. But I've never had an animal. I've never received an animal that died. And I've never sent an animal that died.
Right.
So I that's what I had understood, is that even if everything they did was due diligent and you packed it correctly, that they're still not liable because they did what they had promised to do, which is deliver it on time.
So the reason why I said it was to avoid scammers, where they would like package up a frozen deceased animal, send it somewhere, say it was $6,000 just to collect the insurance payout. That was why they didn't do it, and they don't do it now.
Okay.
I mean, did you listen to it, right? Yeah. I don't know. FedEx fucks up when it's on time too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just got a box of frozen rats that was caved in on the side.
Yeah,
and it was delivered on time, and luckily it was packaged very well, and it's frozen rats. So I mean, they held up fine, but literally the whole side of the box was smashed in.
I've seen, not personally to me, but I've talked about this before, like the edge crush limit, just the whole edge of the box was crushed in a door or something. So, and there's a living thing in there. And if the snake was too close to the edge, luckily that snake was fine, but they're not always fine. And that is clearly FedEx's fault. It will arrive on time, but will arrive slightly more squished than it was sent. So I'm assuming in those extremely rare extenuating circumstances, the insurance would pay out. And he implied that there were 2 times that he did that when they weren't late. But I would like more clarification to me. I don't know. Boxes get squished.
Yeah. Or twirled or tossed down steep driveways like mine.
Yeah, or they're just too hot on the truck from the airport to the hub, which very rarely happens because it's so early in the morning, but it does happen.
Yep.
And then Robin also said he started shipping because he just missed shipping, and he thought there was room in the market for another shipper, which is a good answer. All right. Since we are the slowest people on the earth and we've gone on way too long, let's save a lot of these fun pictures for next week. How do you feel about that?
I think that's a good decision.
Good decision. So what are your fun collection updates of any kind?
Well, I am moving into my snake shack finally.
Good job.
We have party horns and fireworks.
I don't have a soundboard yet, but it'll be
it's been a long time coming, and it's finally here, and everything's set up. Our heat pump is set up. All I needed to do is install a sink, but I'm moving in without the sink. And yesterday I moved about half my adults out there. No, Wednesday I moved about half my adults out there, and Saturday I'll probably move the rest, and it's very exciting. It's so, I mean, when we ordered it, it sounded like a big room, and then as we were building it, I was like, oh crap, this is so small. Like, what am I doing? This is not big enough. I should have went twice as big, but I'm crammed in a very tiny room that's 6 foot by 10 foot. It's an office.
How many square feet is your building, for anyone who doesn't know or doesn't remember?
It's 12
the part
by 16.
That is snaky part. Okay. So it's basically a room.
It's like a room, but it's double what I have now. And putting racks out there and having that huge space in the middle, it feels huge. And I'm loving it. And I'm so excited to be out there and to be, I don't know, it just feels way more legit than crammed into a tiny study. And I have lots of room to grow. All my racks are going to be half empty now because I wasn't able to bring in my second ARS rack to my house, so it's just been hanging out in the snake shed waiting for us to move out there. And so now I'll have 2 big ARSs, and I'm just floored. I couldn't be happier.
Dreams do come true, everybody.
Dreams do come true, and it may be really small and stupid to some people. I'm definitely not calling it a facility. People who call their snake shacks facilities are.
Can mine be a facility?
I mean, how many square feet? Yours is pretty big, maybe.
It's like 1,600 or something.
Yeah, you could call that a facility, but mine is like under 200 square feet.
Should we compare sizes of our facilities? If you take a picture of your facility just right, it looks bigger.
Yeah,
that's what I learned from Christine.
Mine is 40 long, but most of it's carport. So, I mean, just please, if you're calling your shack a facility, just know I'm laughing at you. It is a she shed, exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I mean, it feels phenomenal to be out there. It feels phenomenal to see it come to life.
Big person or a real person or like an
actualized person,
yes, breeder
it feels
or
legitimate.
Something?
It feels like a culmination of effort. It feels great, and I'm at a loss for words. It's just so awesome to have it, and it's so tiny, and like I said, it's not a facility, but it's perfect for me, and it's way better than where I have been. And yeah, I feel legit now, man.
Mm-hmm. There's pictures all over your Instagram, like a video. If people want,
there's a little video as I was moving in on Wednesday.
I could bring it up, but I'm getting sleepy.
You don't need to. It's fine. But as soon as I have everybody out there, I will do a little tour. Maybe we'll do it on a live, and you guys can listen to this loud street noise with a grain of salt. But yeah, it's huge. It feels huge.
Good job.
For me.
You did it. Anything else fun you want to talk about, collection wise?
Do we have time for me to discuss the pros and cons of buying someone else's collection, or do you want to save that for next week?
I mean, there's time, but it might be a good next week. Like if next week is the low news week.
All right. Just right now, it's time to prepare and plan for next season. I have about 4 more clutches that I'm waiting to be laid for this season, and then we'll be wrapping it up. And I do need to sit down and hammer out next season because it's not hammered down. Make sure I have all the right males that I need, because it's pushing quarantine limits if I don't decide here pretty quick and get something else in if I need it. But that's about where I'm at. Where are you at?
So I'm still moving into my shack. So I have
yours is not a shack. Yours is a giant
50% in there
building.
Or whatever. So I have all the adult subadult ball pythons, all the adult corn snakes, but not the subadult corn snakes, and a boa or 2 that just randomly drifted in there. And it's just like constant. I'm like, what tasks do I want to do more? And then you're just like, okay, I got to sanitize and glove up and do all this crap, and then clean the tubs and sanitize the tubs and do it again. Yeah, we're doing it. We're both doing it. But whenever it's done, fuck, thank you. It's big. You can Alex rides his bike in there. Just like
that's awesome.
So big. It's just like
are you gonna do a facility tour?
Yeah, I guess. I wish it was like a glam up where you could see how it's gonna go, but it's not gonna be done when it's done for me, because it would cost too much money to redo the floors now and whatever.
It's gonna be a process.
Yeah. So I'll do something. It's gonna be great. What did I do? So I went to Wilbanks. I guess that was the thing I want to talk about. Who's ever been to Wilbanks?
Lucky swine.
So I didn't get the tour. I did ask, but I needed some mice because some of my ball pythons are so awesome at sucking ass, is what I'm saying. Thanks for being here, Will. It's almost done anyway. They're just not eating, and no frozen thaw dance, hot, dry, bloody, warmed up on heat pads and then blasted. None of that was working. They need a live mouse, Jana.
Sometimes, yep.
So this is like a breeder problem. So I drove 2 hours and 8 minutes to Oklahoma City, and I bought live mice from the only person who has any, Mike Wilbanks. Thank you, Mike Wilbanks. And he has like a pretty big facility. I mean, we can compare our facilities to his facility. I think his is
my shack. There's no comparison.
His is much bigger.
His showroom when you walk in is bigger than my shack.
Oh yeah, he has like a cute little like pet store thing in the front, which isn't a pet store. It's not public. You have to like make an appointment, and then like it's locked, and you ring a doorbell, and that's the way it should be. Good, and it was very nice. And you know what? I did the #1 test for a pet store, which is the old sniff test. Smelled awesome.
Wow,
that's all I can ask for. Yeah. Listen, I was impressed.
Smell awesome.
There's pictures in the Discord. I'm not going to post them here because they're on my phone. Because you could just like browse around the like chondro room or the ball python room or there was like a live stream of like some babies pipping. That was all great, and that's amazing. Didn't smell. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. 10 out of 10. Would drive again and get mice. And all of my mice are beautiful and strange, and I love them. I got hairless, long hair, satins of all kinds. I'd buy them again. Thanks, buddy. That's awesome. I'm super That's jealous. It. The longest fucking podcast of all time.
We did it. Yay. And some of you guys held out the whole time.
Will's been here. He's the real MVP. And 3 other people.
Yeah.
Who is pooping? That's the real question. Who has pooped during the duration of this podcast?
It was not me.
In this time. I look forward to the day when Jana has to leave to go poop now on a live YouTube video instead of what it's been happening where I may be edited out or not. But now we can't. It's permanent forever.
It's perma there forever in history. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll catch you next week at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 12:30 Eastern Time, and this is going to probably be our spot for a while. We may hop on different nights and do like a chatty live, but that's all in the
if you want like a special edition, we need to know what people want because there's a competition on every time slot at night.
Yeah. And there's just some people that it's not worth competing with because we will lose. Yes.
Yeah, we're losing hard. Yeah, we can't. So it's fine. All right. Thank you, everyone. You made it a beautiful first trip. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Bree. Who else was here? I forget. More fun people. You're all beautiful. Catch us on the download. I'll edit out some of that nonsense.
Yep.
Good night. Mwah. Good day. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.